Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here. It's Saturday. We had a Raptors game last night, finishing up our preseason against the Washington Wizards last night with a good 36-point rout. I was at the game last night with Adriana. We were up in section 321, and we had a really good seats. Honestly, we were like straight center court, looking straight on everything, and it's just like close enough to the edge to row 5, so that we had really good seats. Honestly, I was really impressed with the seats last night. But yeah, really impressive win also by the Raptors. We saw a lot of good stuff in a lot of different areas by a lot of different people. I got my 5 stars of the game. I got more stuff reviewing the game to talk about. All kinds of good, great reviewing. If you guys have comments you want to make about the game, reaction to the game last night, also please write it in our chat. That's what this reaction stream is for. All right, so you know what? Let's start with y'all in the chat, and we'll take the cues from there. First, we got Nameless, and first, my paisano, Mr. Nameless is saying Darko didn't come here to lose, mate. He was quite clear about that. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting point, Nameless, and I got like a little bit of a premonition about Darko Rajakovic's philosophies about how he handles himself. And I think you're right. I think that very much part of the reason why he's kind of rose in the coaching ranks the way he has is he has a very strong drive to win. And he has a very interesting ideas about winning and attitudes about winning. And I think you're exactly right. I think it's not a surprise that we're 4-0 in the preseason. Now, when Darko was asked this after the game, he said this doesn't mean nothing. The preseason undefeated 4-0 record, even though it is the first time in Toronto Raptors franchise history that the Toronto Raptors have gone undefeated in the preseason. They've never done this before the whole time since 95, but he says it means nothing. And it really is because the games don't mean anything. But, he also referenced the Summer League record. We were 1-4 at Summer League, and people asked me the same question. I said it means nothing. To him, all it matters is progress and getting better each day. And, that Summer League team didn't perform well. It wasn't connecting very well. And it was a work in progress and trying to figure it out. Well, it's the same stuff with the Raptors main roster right now. It's just that they're being very successful, very successful, because their connectivity and their aptitude for learning is very quick. And it's awesome to see from the guys. All right, Nameless has brought up the second point. And this did happen last night. Our training camp decisions have been made. They were made last night after the game shortly. We waived Muhammadu Gee. We waived Justice Winslow, who we picked up yesterday. That's very interesting. Out of the blue in the afternoon, all of a sudden we dropped Maker and added Justice Winslow to an Exhibit 10 to be added to our 905. Of course, Winslow did not play in the game last night, but he will be on our 905 team this year. That's very intriguing to me. Justice Winslow has been a serviceable NBA player in the past years. Well, he's still just trying to make the league. He's on the edge of it. And his chance right now this season is on the 905 as a 905 player. Yeah, he won't be playing for the Raptors, just so y'all know. But he will be on the 905, and that will make the 905 a better team, having Justice Winslow around. Of course, Mogi going there, Maker going there. David O'Banner going there, and Daryl Morrisell also on 905 in the same way. Exhibit 10, boom, waived, and on 905. So don't you fret, Raptors fans. All those guys are on the 905 this year, and they have pipelines to possibly be on the Raptors, but they also could be picked up and going to other teams also. That's the way the G League works. Now, Jeffrey did get waived last night, guys. We waived Jeff Dowtin last night for sure. And he is a Delaware Blue Coat as of this morning. It's sad. We did not get to see him get in the game last night. And that was really the writing on the wall right there. I knew it. As soon as I saw Ron Harper come in late last night in the game and Jeffrey didn't, I was like, yeah, Jeff's done. And, it's not really a testament about Jeff. I think it's about what Darko needs and wants. And then also about what the front office was kind of doing with flexibility. Well, at this point, the flexibility is this. I saw that Greg made this clip a couple days ago about keeping Flynn and Dowtin together. It was a long shot. And I know he was working with that theory off of an injury exception for Koloko. But they can't say that Koloko is going to be out for this season already because they don't know. He could very well be ready in like a month from now. And in some ways, we don't want to keep Dowtin around and then mean Koloko doesn't get to play the whole season, even if he's not hurt, because he has to fake an injury for an exemption. Nah, we can't do that. So unfortunately, this is where we're at. Now, on the good note is that Malachi was absolutely badass last night, and he made it feel like, okay, all right, maybe sticking with Malachi and continuing with Malachi is the right decision. I'm sad about Jeffrey, but in some ways, I got to let it go. That's about staying present, y'all. And in some ways, Raptors fans may be critical of the front office about this. Josh Lewenberg saying the mishandling of Jeff Dowtin. In some ways, you could say that's true. But in some ways, this is the business. And sometimes you got to be going in the directions that you're going. We had to change coaches. And that coach that we had last year may have had a value on Jeff Dowtin that Darko does not have. And that may be the biggest difference right there. It's obvious that Darko Rajakovic was not that interested in keeping Jeff Dowtin over other people on this team. So it is what it is. Arrivederci, as you said there, Nameless. Yeah, arrivederci. We wish you the best, Jeff. And please go on easy on us when you come back for your revenge games. I know you will. I know you will. And I'm really kind of pissed off that now Nick Nurse has got you again. Dana's here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Canadian Dana, celebrating a great victory, a great preseason for the Toronto Raptors. Vibes are strong. Vibes are high. All kinds of good stuff. And listen, if anybody's worried about Scottie's ankle, don't be worried about it. Seriously, do not be worried about that. I'll tell you why. First of all, the whole thing with ankles is, you know how serious an ankle is on how much pressure they can put on their foot. And, Scottie was walking off the court on his own recognizance. He did not have teammates carting him off the court on two shoulders. He walked off the court on his own feet. So that's when I knew exactly that it was not a bad ankle twist. I know they're saying that it was a knee-to-knee hit, but that's bullshit. That was an ankle twist. The way he was walking on his ankle, it happened in the middle of the game, and he fouled the hell out of Corey Kispert just to get the game to stop because he knew he needed to be pulled. That was very interesting. But he was hurting. And he got to the back. But like I said, this is just a common basketball knowledge thing that I've known for decades, that if a player can walk off the ankle, if they can literally walk off the court, it's not as bad an injury as you think. And after the game, Darko was saying, that's not a bad serious injury. It's not a bad serious injury from what you can hear. I hate these sirens. They're always coming through here so loud in the morning. People are trying to sleep. People trying to sleep. Stupid sirens. All right, let's keep going. But yeah, Scott is going to be fine. It was weird that he didn't come back from the back after the injury. He got injured in the third quarter, and he never returned to the bench during the whole game. A lot of people worried about those kind of things. I'm not worried about him. Not worried about him. I'm not worried about because, first of all, the coach says he's going to be fine. I can tell from the kind of way he twisted his ankle. It's just a normal little minor ankle tweak. And also, he doesn't have to play again until Wednesday. So he can take all day today and stay off his foot. And he can be in good shape for Wednesday. Trust me. So we're going to be good. Trevor J's here. Good to see Commissioner Trevor J. Good morning, Raptors family. All we going to do is win, no matter what. Well, okay, Trevor. This is what has been commissioned by Commissioner J. All we're going to do is win, no matter what. Okay, Commissioner. We follow your Commissioner rules. And we got to win. We got to win. It's just how it is. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Phipps. Let's go. Fire. Yes, some fire going on. You know what? Let's start looking at I'll do my 5 stars really shortly. Let's do the words of wisdom first. Trevor's saying, stop your behavior of being ugly in the heart, because you will never love no one, and that will be your journey every day in life, 100%. That's scary, man. That's scary. Search your heart for what you have in it, because it may be what you get in your life. Yikes, Trevor J. Yeah, that's wild, man. So try and have a pure, kind heart, I think, is what Commissioner J is saying today. Also, he's saying Dennis is what a point guard's supposed to look like. He was awesome last night. All right, we'll talk about Dennis first, since you pointed him out first. He's not one of my 5 stars, but he was definitely solid. 23 minutes for Dennis Schröder, 2 for 8 from the field with 1 of 3 at 3. He hit both his free throws, 3 rebounds, 3 turnovers, Plus 22 with 7 points and 11 assists. 11 assists is what the beautiful number that Trevor's talking about right here. Did you even feel like Schröder got 11 assists in that game while you were watching it? It seemed like a very easy 11. A lot of those 11 is in transition with quick pace and just setting up guys like OG with a quick, easy dunk. That's how you get 11 assists, real easy and fast. Put that pace up and know how to find your teammates in transition so that they can get easy scores. Yeah, Dennis, you're a badass. And we love the 11 assists. It seemed like they came real easy. He didn't play a whole lot of the game, and he got 11 assists. I'm telling you, this is what we're going to get with Dennis coming in. Y'all happy with Dennis? Do you see he's not trying to take over or be the man or like he was at FIBA or anything like that? He's playing within his game, within the structure of things, and he loves it. Honestly, I can tell Dennis Schröder is impressed with the immense talent and crazy athleticism of most of his teammates. Like, this is the thing. He's talked about this candidly on his channel this week. He says that this team has some really crazy potential for defensive stuff. And I agree. We keep hearing people after games saying, I want to consider myself one of the best defenders in this league. And that's not even OG saying that. That's precious. It's precious. And Scottie is the same way. He says, I consider myself one of the best defensive players of the league. You know, if OG, Scottie, and Precious all have the same mentality, and those three guys can really be the best defender in the league, well, think about how good our defense is. Seriously. And then you got Siakam, who's just as good a defender as those guys, too, in a lot of ways. So it's like, yeah, and Jakob, come on. This is a scary team for other people. And, Washington got handled pretty good last night. Really, really good last night. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Dennis was awesome. He is a true point guard. Race Mode Daily's here. Good to see you, Edmund. Good morning, freaks. Was that Malachi Flynn's best game as a Raptor? You know what? It's up there. I would say maybe last night's game was in the top 5 best Malachi games in his whole career with the Raptors. I would say that. Now, it's preseason once again, but this is what we needed. It's almost like Malachi heard all this noise this week about him versus Jeff. And he was like, this game, I'm really going to make sure I make it. Because, I saw more concerted effort from him in the game last night to make his threes. Oh, my gosh. That's all you got to do, Malachi, is make most of your threes. And I'll be happy with you, man. That's all you need to do. And he did. In fact, he's one of my 5 stars of the game. He's not my number 1 star. That's Scottie. But he is my number 2 star for the game last night. Malachi Flynn getting out there in 20 minutes and scoring 13 points on plus 17, 5 of 7 from the field. That's what I really like. He only missed 2 shots, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. Those 3 threes were nice, and he hit them really deadly at good times. So, see, that's what we need. That's all I need from you, Malachi, is to make most of your threes. You can be good. 5 rebounds is extra gravy on top. 3 assists, and 0 turnovers. So Malachi, very solid game last night. As Edmund said, is this one of his best games as a Raptor? Yeah, unfortunately, in some ways it is. He didn't score a whole lot. He only got 13, but the 5 of 7 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and no turnovers. Very, very good game by Malachi. That's why I gave him the 2nd star for the game. So, yeah, I don't know. He's had very higher scoring games and maybe, but not as efficient. This is the thing. He was efficient last night. And in some ways, I haven't been able to say, like, if you take 10 Malachi Flynn games, that he's been efficient in like most of those. I'd say maybe in 2 or 3 of those games out of 10, he would be efficient. But he was very efficient last night. And that's a big reason why. Now, as I said, Scottie is our number 1 star for the game last night for me. And there's a lot of reasons why. A lot of reasons. He's showing that new level of trying to be dominant and taking over, and he's doing it in really cool ways. Like, these guys have nothing. It's game over. Like, Darko straight up said this after the game. They were talking about Scottie in the threes. He took 5 threes early in the game, and he made 3 out of 5 already early in the game. 3 of 6 from 3-point range is a big deal for Scott. His 50% 3-point shooting. It's more than 2 threes. We've seen this stat before, where if Pascal makes 2 3-pointers, the Raptors' win percentage goes up dramatically. Well, just think if Scottie starts making 3 3-pointers a game, how much our win percentage will go up. And the threes are really a big deal. They're kind of the last piece of the puzzle that makes him a bona fide superstar that nobody can stop. And that is what Darko was saying after the game last night. He said once they have to start really like respecting his outside shot, they'll come to him and then he'll be able to drive on them and it'll be all over. And Darko said that it'll be like it'll be all over for them. It's a good night for you guys. It's true. It is very, very true. Scottie is this close to becoming a totally unstoppable player in the NBA. And get ready for it. Strap yourself in because it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, he's really making good reads. You've seen in the game last night the force that Scottie is in the open court with the ball coming up the court, just like LeBron or Giannis. He is a problem. He is a problem. They don't know how to stop him. And then it's like if you try and stop him, well, he's dishing to somebody else and they're getting a three. You know, so there's a lot of issues that come up with Scottie and trying to handle him for coaches that are opposing us at this point. And I love it. I love it so much. We saw Scottie do stuff in a shorter time period. He got hurt and he didn't get to play a stint in the fourth quarter. But listen to this. He had 23 points in 25 minutes. Once again, I'm looking at points per minute. And if your point total is close to your minutes total, I'm giving you some big time respect because that means you're being very efficient. Scottie, very, very efficient. In fact, if you look at his extended stats right now, his per 36 is absolutely insane right now. If the man was playing full-time minutes in preseason, he'd be averaging almost 30 points a game right now. That's what I'm saying. His per 36 is off the charts, way higher than his first two seasons in the NBA. So that's just all kind of foreboding towards what's going to be coming this season when he gets his regular starters rotation minutes. When he's getting between 30 and 40 minutes a game, the man might be averaging like 25 points a game. Seriously. Because the per 36 stats are showing that right now. They're insane. They're absolutely insane. Especially from last night. Holy crap. Let's do his stat line real quick. 10 of 14 from the field. That is efficiency. That is him getting paint touches. That is him going in and shooting a shot. If he doesn't make it, he's right there to get the offensive rebound. 4 offensive rebounds. Once again, he's showing a proclivity like a Moses Malone to find his own shot if he misses it and put it right back. He's overpowering down there. He's a load. They don't know what to do with him as far as trying to stop him from being aggressive on his second attack. So 10 of 14, 3 of 6 from 3. He did miss both his free throws, which was kind of the only blight on his whole game last night. But 6 rebounds, just 1 assist. So he really was looking to score more himself. 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, a plus 11, 23 points. And he was just showing weird times of dominance. Like, I really love that whole, like, he was the trailer on one play. They brought the ball up the court, and he was still coming hard from behind, and they found him, and he ran right through the lane and threw down that monster jam. That's nasty. In some ways, that's the cool thing, is he could be the trailer on the fast break, and they everybody clears out for Siakam or OG because they came through the lane already. Well, Scott's coming after them, and boom, look out. He's throwing it down, so watch your head is what's going on with him. So, yeah, really, really good, dominant stuff by Scottie, very potent in a short period of time. So just imagine when he gets 10 more minutes added, that man could be averaging closer to 30 than 20 this year. We'll have to see. We really have to see. It really is where the water is going to flow with Darko's ideas and where he wants to go, or naturally where it's going to go with as far as defensive schemes that other teams play against us and where we need to break it down and take it apart. Scott may be that person that feasts in those situations because individually he is one of the players on our team that can beat anybody in one-on-one on the team at any time. We have a lot of guys who can do that, but Scottie's the one who could pretty much beat somebody every single time he has the ball. So it's going to be a lot of fun this year. Scottie Barnes has evolved, and he's a new level. It's official. And get strapped in and get ready for the ride and get your popcorn. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun watching Scottie this year. I'm telling y'all, he's getting closer and closer to being Kawhi-like powers. That's what we're talking about. Kawhi's the perfect example because he's a two-way player. He plays at both ends of the court. And you cannot limit Scott with just thinking he's going to be great on offense. He's going to be great on defense too, because he puts a lot of emphasis on that end of the court also. So, man, oh, man, strap yourself in. It's on its way. My third star of the game last night is Gradey Dick. Gradey Dick having a fantastic game last night. It was a really fun game for Gradey. We saw him hit 4 threes last night, one very early in the first quarter, and then a few and later in the game. But he was electric, and he was the highest plus minus on our team. He was a plus 30. That's the thing about Gradey. Listen, he's a sure shot. I'm not worried about him hitting his threes like Malachi. I think he's coming in right away, and he's going to be like, yeah, he's a sure shot. Because if his shot is open and he's got a good vision on the basket, he's going to make it go through. It's automatic. And we got to get ready for this. He's going to be a lot more important to the rotation than I thought, because he's going to be able to be doted on and counted on to make those shots. And I'm telling you, he's very valuable. And I may have to change my calculation that he'd be very heavy on 905, because it's looking like he may actually be in the top 10 rotation for the Raptors this season. It's really kind of going back and forth. In some ways, it'll be like that all season. It may be that there's a period of time during the season where Gradey is absolutely playing every main Raptors game. And there may be a stretch where he's absolutely down with a 905 and playing with them for like a month too. So be ready for that, Raptors fans. And don't overreact about the decisions. Just realize it's all with the intention of developing Gradey optimally and not screwing around with him. So if he does go to 905 and he plays like 2 months for 905 and barely shows up on the Raptors, don't take that as a downgrade. That is something he needs to go do, and it'll be good. But, man, he was fantastic. He's hitting threes in different ways, but the threes were going in, and that's the thing that matters. Hand in his face, who cares? You know, he's catching it off of a dribble kick. Yeah, somebody goes in the lane, all of a sudden Grady's in the corner, hit him. You know, it's really good. It's really, really good what we're seeing from Gradey. And I love him getting double digits in this game. 12 points in 19 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field. One of the shots he missed was a 2-pointer. One was a 3-pointer. So he was really 4 for 5 from 3. He had 2 offensive rebounds. They were a big tip rebound that he had at one point where he got his hand on the ball and he pushed it back out and he saved the possession for us. There's a couple of different plays like that. 1 assist, 2 steals, and a turnover, plus 30. Gradey Dick, absolutely fantastic last night. The rookie's got a very promising future. Let's just put it that way. It was cool. I was at the game, and I saw his parents at the game, and you know what they did? They sent them to the back early before the game ended, because I think they told them that they were going to interview Gradey after the game for the post-game interview. So Carmen and Brent, I think is his name, went to the back and watched his interview on the TV after being in the crowd watching most of the game. There's all kinds of cool stuff I was seeing in the arena before the game and during the game that you just don't see on TV. I'm going to talk about it as I remember it. Pat Delaney, very interesting person. Let's just put it that way. Very, very interesting person. Let's keep going. The 4th star for me last night was O.G. And there's a couple reasons why I got to say O.G. was fantastic. First of all, he was 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He hit his only free throw, 15 points, a plus 11. But we know the side of the ball that was the most important side for OG was that defensive side, and a particular person named Jordan Poole. Listen, yeah, we called this. We called this yesterday morning. I said the OG Plumbing Company's coming with a big wrench, and they're going to cut the water off on the pool. That happened for sure last night. In fact, Darko spelled it out. He said it this way. He said, yeah, you want to know what happened to Jordan Poole tonight? He said, I say 3 words for you. He said, O.G.Annunoby. He said that's 3 words. I guess he's really respecting the periods in O and G to say this. I have 3 words for you. O.G.Annunoby. I love it, Darko. You're awesome. It's hilarious. But no, it's true. To really tout OG, I got to talk about Jordan Poole for you guys. Really, Jordan played 20 minutes last night. He was 1 of 15, y'all. Why do you think Jordan Poole, who got 41 points earlier this week against the Knicks, was 1 of 15 last night? Why do you think he was? 3 words for you. O.G.Annunoby. That's right. 7 points for Jordan. I kept looking at his score during the game, and I was like, Jordan Poole has 4 points. Jordan Poole has 5 points. Jordan Poole has 7 points. And I'm like, yeah, he was 0 for 6 on all of his threes. He did have 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal, but a minus 18 for Jordan Poole, that's supposed to be the great wizard this year. Yeah, you ran into Mr. Annunoby, and you found out that he had a wrench that fit your pipe to cut it off. Turn it off. That's right. No water in the pool today, kids. Sorry. The pool is out of order. You can't go swimming today. Sorry. Yeah, too bad. Yeah, that really was a big part of why I picked OG, because on both sides of the ball. But he was fantastic offensively last night, too. Letting the game come to him and flow. He hitting open threes, finishing transition baskets. Lots of good stuff by OG on both sides of the ball, all around game, and just understated. In some ways, Scottie's taking a lot of spotlight. You know, we're seeing Siakam do amazing things still, too. We've got a new rookie. There's all kinds of different flashy stuff, but there's still that one standard steady person, O.G.Annunoby, doing what he does. And fantastic job on Jordan Poole yesterday, OG. It's a big, big deal. And my last star is the birthday boy. Javon Freemon Liberty came into the game late and got 11 minutes and got 9 points. Once again, if you get up at almost as many points as minutes you play, you're going to get on my list this year, because that's what I want. I want productivity. 4 of 6 shooting for Javon, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 3 offensive rebounds, which turned into baskets. That's really where he's doing his work, was a garbage man off the baskets and putting them back. Really interesting little turn shot that he made at one point where he spun all the way around. Yeah, Javon was great on his birthday, and I love seeing him get out there and fill it up real quick. So there's my 5 stars. But to be honest, I could add like another 5 guys from the game last night. Honorable mention to Siakam, who was absolutely fantastic also. There's a lot of guys. Precious was really good last night too. He stat stuffed. Jalen McDaniels was solid. Ron Harper actually had a pretty good game last night also. So there were a couple different people I could name. Even Jakob wasn't bad at all either last night. So yeah, my 5 stars of the game: Scottie, Malachi, Gradey, OG, and Javon Freemon Liberty. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's see. Top saying, good morning, Raps family. Trevor J, I agree. Dennis doesn't dominate the ball. He's selective with his drives. Yeah, he reads the floor really well. He gets up the floor with a really quick pace, and he makes good decisions to set these guys up for success. One of the things that's really important is you can be fast and pass the ball, but if they can't catch it and it just causes a turnover, it's very important you get the ball to them in a way they can handle it. And Dennis has that. In a lot of ways, I predicted this when we got Dennis. There's going to be a flying circus kind of show, kind of like the Lakers were with LeBron and Dennis, with our guys with Dennis. That all the stuff he did to set up LeBron with crazy high flying lobs and stuff. We've got that here. In fact, we've got more options in some ways that have that athleticism like LeBron to get up there and get that ball if Dennis throws it up in the air. So I'm excited about Dennis's playmaking ability as a point guard, and him setting up our guys and making them look real good, because he already is. He made OG look real good on one of those passes and the way he finished last night. So yeah, top saying also, though Malachi played well on offense, I don't trust him defensively. And there's something about his game I just don't trust. My eyes just tell me he isn't the point guard we need. He would rather just score. Let's be fair here. I mean, I honestly thought he was great. And one of the things that struck me last night is this is the thing that why we value him. It's because he is really time served. And in some ways, there's a lot of like extra stuff. It's kind of like Malachi's an iceberg. Let's just put it this way. There's a whole bunch of work that we see that's the tip of the iceberg, that's above the water, that we see. And that has a certain amount of failure and success. And then there's a huge iceberg under the water that we have no idea, we don't see. And that's the work he's put in the 3 years he's been a Raptor. That is the work in knowing the system inside out, the philosophies, being a good worker, all this kind of stuff. In some ways, to be a good backup point guard, you have to be trusted, like you're saying, and you don't totally trust him with your eye right now. But for some reason, I gained more trust for him last night because I saw our team running confidently and competently when Malachi was out there for the stretches he was out there. So that's kind of all we want from that position, is with Dennis is coming out, or if there's somebody else out, we need somebody who can be a solid kind of backup point guard. Well, he's that guy. He's on our books for it, and he's been designated, and it's him. It's him. So I can't get mad at this, and I'll support him, and I'll speak his positives and speak him up as much as possible, because that's what we do here. That's what we do. MSJ saying stats were amazing. 60 rebounds, 34 assists, Wizards couldn't make threes, and we made nearly half of ours. Yeah, I think we did make half of ours. Raps team is big and fast, beat up the Wiz. Dowtin, sad news, but Javon will be the next underdog. Yeah. All right. Let's do the team stats since Chris brought it up. It is really interesting what the so far the characteristics of the Darko coach team are. I can tell you because I'm starting to see the parallels over 4 preseason games and paying attention to the stats. That one of the things he doesn't value, which Nick did, is getting more shots than the other team because it doesn't matter. Like we got one less shot than the Wizards last night, 96 and 95 field goal attempts. And we made 13 more of those field goals. So it really isn't about quantity. It's about quality. And that was the difference between Nick and Darko this year is Nick was all about quantity of shots. A lot of shots, doesn't really matter if they're good shots. And well, Darko cares that they're good shots. And that's why we are shooting so much better since this coaching change. We shot 52% as a team last night. And I'm telling you, the Raptors shooting over 50% for games is not normal, is not very often, and maybe more often now because we're beating them down in the paint. We're getting more transition. We're taking shots that are more wide open instead of shots that are contested or ran out at. So there's reasons why our field goal percentage is going to go up other than changing personnel or getting Gradey Dick. It's because the shot selection and the getting quality shots is way better this year. So get used to shooting a higher percentage this year. No more 40% shooting or less. We're going to be closer to 50% shooting this year. And I love that. That's going to be something that people are going to be like, wow, the Raptors are so much better because they make more of their shots. Well, that makes sense. So it's quality over quantity. And that's a big, big part of it right here. The other thing about it is, yes, because of that, our three-point shooting is way better. 16 of 40, 40% free throw shooting, fantastic. I say if you're 40 and up, that's a great three-point shooting night. Now, we were 50% the last game against the Bulls. So, you know, the three-point shooting has gone up and they're getting made more. We had a lot of different guys making threes last night. You had Scottie getting 3. You had Gradey getting 4. You had a lot of different people bombing threes. Malachi, O.G., we did good with the 3-pointers. We're getting to the line more than the other team because we're more aggressive and getting in the paint. And the more free throws has been a plus for us too. 74% at the free throw line. We didn't shoot as well at the free throw line as them, but we did make 3 more free throws because we got more trips to the line. So that's a big, huge factor that we're seeing too, and a difference is last year we were starved for free throw trips. Like Nick just doesn't get them the way that he coached the team with the isolation. They never gave us anything with the doubles on Siakam. He screamed, he get hammered, and they just ignored him. Well, we're getting calls now this year, and we are getting more free throw attempts than our opponents so far in the game since Darko's coached. And that is a fantastic change from last year. From what I perceive, so the rebounding is better too. This is a big point that Chris just brought up. 60 rebounds to 42 rebounds for the Wizards. This is another thing where we've been winning the battle. We've been out rebounding the other team, and this may be a key stat that we need to do almost every game to win games is to out rebound the other team. It just makes sense. It's a basic fundamental of basketball. You out rebound the other team, you're more likely to win. Well, we got to continue to do that. And I like how in some ways, because we're playing more man-on-man, one-on-one, there's more easy rebounding battles where we're not losing guys and there's offensive rebounds getting got, or we're getting more chances at getting offensive rebounds for ourselves. So the rebounding is better under Darko so far this year. Assists, 36 assists last night. I mean, last year I was hoping they just get 25. It seemed like 36 assists last night was a breeze. It's like once we open things up, all of a sudden the assist numbers are absolutely insane and incredible because we're not just holding the ball and not really wanting to move the ball around. You move the ball around, boom, 36 assists. Like it was nothing. It was nothing. Did you feel like there was 36 assists last night? There were 36 assists last night. That's awesome. That is a really good number. That's 11 over my my bottom where I want them to be every game. Steals, they stole us, but we outblocked them. We had 16 hustle stats to their 14. that we had way more turnovers than Washington. They may have taken care of the ball better, but that didn't matter. We can have 6 more turnovers and still beat y'all's ass by 36. Fast break points have been a key indicator of success for Darko. We've had at least 20 fast break points every single game recently. And that's a big difference from last year. We'd have a really hard time getting fast breaks going in Nick's system. Why is this different? Why all of a sudden are we getting more transition and getting those successfully? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because we have a different point guard. Maybe it's because the philosophies of the run in the lanes is better in his system. Because like some of the shit that was happening with Nick last year on transition was people running the same lanes, or the spacing wasn't right, or it just wasn't making sense. Well, it seems like it's all a little bit better this year as far as the spacing on breaks and the lanes. Because last year they were muddled and there was confusion and there was some 2-on-1 breaks where we would not get anything because of that. So it was really messed up. So the points in the paint is also important too, because like I said, he's really capitalizing wanting to go into the paint. 66 points in the paint to 52. So we won that category also. So yeah, the team stats indicate the profile of the coach and kind of tell you what he values and what's important. And there's very different values for our new coach compared to our last coach. That is for sure. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Tristan's also saying, I know Mal played well in Tampa, but he did play well last night. Good for him. Yeah, he really did. Really did. I'm not going to say, I'm not a hater. That was like, oh, no, he wasn't that good. No, he was very good last night. And his stock went back up with me. It's almost like he had a really bad night. Now he's going to have a good night. It could very well be that he's streaky like Gary Trent this year. He's going to have really shit the bed games, but then he has huge games where we're like, wow, Malachi's awesome. In some ways, I see that being the next part of his career. He could be really, really good on certain nights, and we're like, yeah, we're glad we kept him. And then there'll be nights where we're like, he didn't do jack shit for us last night. So I feel like that's what's going to happen with him this year. Tristan's saying, I like the way I saw Marquise play as well. He looked like he was more in his element than last game. Yeah, Marquise, is interesting because he really got garbage time and he barely got out there. And he didn't get any stats. He literally has a 0-0-0-0 box score for last night. But I see what you're saying, Tristan, and I agree. He was out there and he looked like he belonged and he wasn't really sticking out. I feel bad for Marquise. In some ways, him and Javon had to sit on the back bench because they had everybody healthy. This was the first time. And I feel bad because the guy is sitting in the back behind everybody. He's the shortest guy. How is he supposed to see the game if he's got to sit behind everybody, is what I was thinking. He better have that little thing that you could sit on that Fred used to sit on sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I thought Marquise was fine. There's not a whole lot to say about him, though. He really just got a taste right at the end. He's saying interesting things on his Instagram. Why don't we go look at that? That's an interesting thing to look at because Marquise is on there right now. First, he was shaving his beard before the game last night. It was funny. He's like had the razor and he's just kind of like on Instagram stories shaving his beard like while he's on live. And he came to the game. He had his beard more like light. It was like shaved up on the cheeks because he did it on Instagram. We saw it. Now, this is what he's saying on his Instagram. He said on his tweets, he said, later, it's coming later, and there will be more to see, is basically what he's saying. But, I think he went and got in the practice facility right away last night because 7 hours ago, he had a picture of him taking shots in the middle of the night last night after the game. So that's the kind of stuff he's doing. Now, Ron Harper Jr., very interesting, celebrating a birthday for Javon Freemon Liberty yesterday, turning 24. And then this is really sad. This was like the saddest thing I saw last night is a picture of him with Jeff saying for lifer and the fingers crossed. And you can tell that Ron Jr. and Jeff Jr. really bonded as a pair last year, being the two ways for the Raptors and jumping between the 905 and the Raptors. And that, this is a friendship that's not going to go away. Ron Harper Jr. and Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. And he is sad. You can tell that Ron is very sad about Jeffrey getting waived last night. Very, very sad. I hate that. I hate that kind of stuff. Dennis Schröder, basically, let's see where he's at. Let's see what he's got. He's got his fit coming into the game in the tunnel. We love seeing Dennis in that picture. And you know what? He's got such a nice smile. And then he's wearing the world champs German shirt, Germany's world champ shirt. It's a nice shirt. Those caricature championship team T-shirts Well, he's got a Germany one, and they're going to be selling them online. So if anybody wants to get a Team Germany shirt, you might be able to buy one from him soon. They're also available in Germany, obviously. Gradey posting his highlights. There's the one where Malachi hit him in the corner, and he hits that three over the Wizards. He's great, man. Gradey really has some good skills, and his fit coming into the game was interesting. He had a little 4-quadrant shirt on and his headphones. Yeah, Gradey, what's up? Dubberdon. This is weird. Like Dubberdon is posted a picture of him as a little kid in Toronto outside the Target wearing a Celtics shirt. And it makes me gross. It's gross. You're such a cute kid, Delano, but not in a Celtics shirt. Gross. That's disgusting. Lots of stuff on the Raptors admin stuff, of course. Talking or showing people in highlights and the starting lineups and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, who else do I have? Is there anybody else? I think that's it. It's the Instagram checks have been light these days because these guys have really been working and being busy. So there's your Instagram check. Marquise, it's more to come from him. And Ron's sad that Jeff's leaving, which is really sad. Really, really sad. Trevor's saying Jordan Poole forgot that he cannot bring a knife to a gunfight. Trevor, that's hilarious. Wait, I want to read the rest of that comment. Can't bring a knife to a gunfight. Where is he? Holy crap, y'all are filling it up. I love it. Okay, there it is. We put that fire out real quick. Yeah, Jordan couldn't do nothing. I'm telling you, this is going to be the case for a lot of premium scorers in the league this year. They're going to run into Mr. Barnes, Mr. Anunoby, Mr. Siakam, Mr. Achiuwa, and the rest. Mr. McDaniels. Yeah, there's a lot of good defenders on our team this year. A lot of good defenders. And other teams are going to have a hard time scoring on us. In some ways, the teams scored on us last year because they beat the system, not the players. When you try and beat the players individually, one-on-one, in a straight-up matchup, you may have a harder time scoring us than our crazy aggressive defensive scheme from last year. In some ways, they beat our defensive scheme. That's why teams were scoring on us so easy, because they knew we were going to run at them like crazy. Well, just beat the running at them and run it out. And then, boom, you finally got somebody in the corner hitting a three. So in some ways, you could theorize that our defense will be better because we're staying home and we're really using the talent of our mega good defensive players against people instead of running around like our chickens' heads cut off. Yeah, that's going to be a big difference. And we may have a way better defense just because the philosophy of our defense is like that this year. No bailing you out by running around like we're frantic and panicking. Instead, we'll stay at home, we'll guard you straight up, and you ain't getting jack shit, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, MSJ saying the pool was cooled. The pool was cool. The pool was drained of the water. It's just drained of the water. That's right. His name was saying, pray for Scottie. Scottie, no. Yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about Scottie. We've seen Scottie twist his ankle a little bit before in his career, and he's back right away. And once again, he's a young guy who's very healthy. Now he's finding the secrets of nutrition. He is unlocking his health to fix himself quickly. He could have Wolverine type healing abilities like Kyle Lowry, and it may not take him very long to heal his ankle up real quick. He could jump on Twitch on Sunday and he'll be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? I'm playing some 2K." And you're like, "Hey Scottie, how's your ankle?" "Oh, my ankle's fine. Nothing's wrong with my ankle." That could very well be what happens in 2 days. Tomorrow, I could see that happening. Scottie's gonna be on Twitch at some point this week. I'm gonna bet you he may be on tomorrow. He may be on Monday. And we'll ask him. We'll straight up ask him, "Hey, how's your ankle, Scott?" "Oh, it's fine. What are you talking about?" "No, we saw you twist your ankle and you had to leave the game the other day." "Oh, yeah, that's right. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm fine." It's going to be like that. I'm telling you. It's very much going to be like that. MSJ saying Scottie is going to be okay in a week. Did somebody step on his foot? I think he just rolled his ankle a little bit. They were saying that it was a knee-to-knee hit, which it could be. That's another way you could be walking in like that. I mean, some people were saying, no, it was his ankle, not his knee. But I don't know. They're saying it was knee to knee. That's the official word from Raptors trainers and health people. And that's what Darko said. But a lot of people eyeballed it last night. They're saying, no, he rolled his ankle. But if you hit your knee into somebody else's knee, you will kind of hold it up, just like it's your ankle. And it may look like it's your ankle, but it was actually his knee that was hurting. I don't know. Either way, I'm not worried about Scott. I really am not. He's going to be fine. And he's tough. He's a strong, like a bull person. And yeah, don't worry about him, guys. He's going to be all right. He'll be ready for game 1 against Minnesota on Wednesday. He will be. Trust me. Trust me. He will be. Yeah. Trevor's saying Victor put on a show last night against the Warriors. I'm telling y'all, he's a real deal Holyfield. Y'all can get all crazy about Chet Holmgren, but there's a different one that's even crazier. This cheat code. This guy is a real deal. He's going to come and dominate this league very soon. He could be dominating this league by the end of this year. It's not going to be a long time before Victor is just going to be a badass force in this league. He's already showing it. He can do the shit he was doing in France in the NBA. That's what we're finding out right now. All that weird shit that he can do with high shots and making outside shots, he can do it all in the NBA. It's not going to not translate. It's all going to translate, and it's going to look really, really crazy. The Spurs are going to be so much fun to watch. I love the Spurs so much, and I'm so happy he's on their team. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm all about the Victor Wembanyama times of the NBA right now, starting. Yeah, I'm all about him. And I know he's going to be a Spur for life. He ain't going anywhere. Y'all can wish you could get Victor Wembanyama, but you ain't going to get him. Trust me. He's going to be loyal to that team, and he will be like Tim Duncan. He will be a lifer. Watch. That's right. Yeah. All right, let's see. Fiercey's saying, good morning, family, and happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you, Fiercey. What a demolition yesterday. OG put the brakes on Poole. Sad Dowtin was waived, though front office have their reasons. That's right. Trust in Messiah. It is what it is. Well, I'm just going to hope for the best for Jeffrey, except for against us. And it is what it is. It's just what it is. I like you said demolition. It made me think of the tag team, Axe and Smash. Here comes the Axe, and here comes the Smasher, the demolition, walking disaster. Yeah, it's like OG and Scottie, and they come out with the face paint and the spikes on their shoulders. And like their demolition, Mr. Fuji's with them. That'd be awesome. That'd be so awesome if they did this for Halloween. OG and Scottie, can you all dress up as Bill Eadie and Barry Darso and just do the demolition cosplay this Halloween? That'd be so awesome if y'all could be demolition. I want the Raptors to all be classic wrestlers. Yeah, Siakam, can you do Hogan? I'd love to see you do your Hulkster. Maybe you're Hollywood Hogan and you wear like the black and you have the fake beard. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Y'all should cosplay like Monday Nitro or something, y'all. That'd be awesome for Halloween. I'm putting in requests for the Raptors Halloween costumes to do like a wrestling motif this year. That'd be awesome. So awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Kenny's here. Good to see original Raptor Freak Kenny. One of my original guys. He's a top 12. He's one of the original 12. We drowned Poole in a pool of suffocating D. That's right, Kenny. You're getting a dunk for something really silly and simple, but you're getting a dunk for that, Kenny. I love that. We drowned him in a suffocating pool of suffocation. I love it, man. Yeah, Jordan's a very interesting talent, but he's nothing for us. I'm not worried about him against us. No, I'm not. It's interesting that Kuzma didn't play. And Gary, a late scratch last night. I don't think it's anything. I mean, I guess they just wanted to give more looks at that position. Gary sitting out, that was an interesting turn of events. And then Kuzma, I really thought Kuzma was going to play last night. I don't think he would have been a huge factor to help them. It probably would have been the same kind of game, but him not playing, that did hurt them. He is really kind of their best player. I don't think Jordan Poole's their best player. I think Kuzma is. Kuzma's their best player. Tristan saying, MSJ, nah, he just twisted it. Scottie is a unicorn. That's what Darko said. Scottie is a unicorn. They used to call Porzingis a unicorn. Well, he's been found out he's not mythical. He's a real creature. We still know that Scottie is a mythical creature. And that's why he is a unicorn, not Porzingis. Yeah. Nameless is saying, I agree with that statement, Lex. It may have been more about what Darko wants than Jeff's capabilities or performances. Where's all the Flynn haters this morning? We weren't Flynn haters. We just have preferences. We were Dowtin preferences. That's what we were. Not Flynn haters. We just preferred Dowtin. And there's nothing wrong with that. And once again, I want to show as a example the proper way to deal with not getting what you want. Well, okay, that's how it is. That's fine. I'll live another day, and I'll be so happy because I love the Raptors and I get to watch them play. And I'm not going to go crazy and be all over freaking out because Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. got waived last night. I mean, come on. Let me be a role model to you. Anybody who's having problems this morning with anger or sadness or like being like, why, Jeffrey, why? Any of that kind of bullshit, just cut it out right now and be like me and be like, well, that's just how it is and move on because that's a really good way to be in your life in general. And, let's not overreact to Jeffrey getting waived last night, y'all. It is what it is. It's sad. He's not a part of the plans. It doesn't fit for our future. And it's just how it is. It's not that he's not a good player. It's not that it's this or it's not that it's that. It's just that it's not going to work. And we're moving forward. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I don't think anybody, people that are Flynn haters, if they're like that, they need to stop because, first of all, we don't hate our Raptors. We don't hate any of them, even if they're playing poorly and they're not doing well. We don't hate them. They're human beings, and we want to support them and be on their side and root for them, not be like pulling them down and making it worse. That's a part of the Raptors fan nation that I have hated is when things go wrong for somebody like Siakam or something like that, people start piling on them. And I really don't like doing that. I really don't. Let's see. Nameless is saying Silencio. Yeah, for the Flynn haters. Yeah, I guess so. MSJ saying the Raps are a big load. Phrasing. You have Yak, Pascal, OG, and Barnes coming at you all with size and running fast. And on D, hard to score on such a team. I like Javon more than Flynn now. Well, Javon's more of a scorer than Flynn is in some ways. He really is. Yeah, this is true. Our team is very big. And in some ways, they're deceivingly quick, too, for that being that big. Sometimes you don't get both. You don't get the combination of quick with big. You're either big and slow or you're small and quick. Well, let's just be both of the good things, big and quick. And that's what we are. And that's a problem. That's a problem for people. In some ways, you can have a couple of guys on your team like LeBron and Scottie that are big and quick. But when you have like 6 or 7 guys on your team that are big and quick, that's a problem for the other team. That is a problem. Yeah. G saying, I twisted my foot a few years ago. If it's the same, it's the top of the foot. I work out and run, but every so often, if I move it wrong, I get a sharp pain for a few hours and then it's fine. Yeah, this can be a reoccurring kind of like ankle twist that happens because of a prior injury. These players all have this kind of shit happening. Dennis, the way he ices his ankles and puts so much care into his ankles with his therapy and procedures is so important. So important. So listen, I remember vaguely in the last 2 years, Scottie twisting his ankle. It was kind of like what happened last night. And exactly what I said happened. In a couple of days, he was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with my ankle. What are y'all talking about? He's almost acting like, you know what? Why do you think I'm weak or like that I would be hurt? I'm not hurt. I'm perfectly fine. What are you talking about? I don't remember any ankle twist. He really does act like that. He did on Twitch after an ankle twist before. I remember. Top of Top saying Javon is 24 and has been very impressive to me every time he's played. He had another good game, and I just hope he gets a good opportunity to play with the big club. He should not be in the G League. Now, that's something that people were saying about Jeff last night after we waived him. He's not a G League player. He's a pro player, and he should be in the pro league. All right, this is what I want to say right now. There's different levels of players on our roster. There's the guaranteed big money franchise guys like Pascal, Scottie, OG, Jakob, Gary, guys like that. Then there's like middle guys who are kind of like rotation, but they are on the team. They're not G League or anything, like Malachi, Otto Porter, Thaddeus. Then there's guys that are really, Javon is like this, that are really just here for a spot of tea. I know he said this the other day. He gave it away, that he's just here to develop for a bit and move on. And I know that we love keeping guys and having continuity, and Masai definitely has that kind of value to keep guys around and really invest time in them and get more out of their development over a long period of time. But there's certain levels of contracts, like the 2-ways, the Exhibit 10s, all that stuff with G League that doesn't portend to them being on our team for long term. Because in a lot of ways, the G League is for a pool for the whole league to come and take guys from. Now, the 2-ways allow us to say a claim on a guy like Javon Freemon Liberty, say, no, you can't take him and take him to the Portland Trailblazers when we're near the G League playoffs. He is a 2-way, so he has to stay on our team. So in some ways, that is the stake on him. But that's the thing, is like if he's a 2-way on our team for 2 years, that doesn't lead into an automatic guaranteed contract with us. That means it's wide open. So Javon Freemon Liberty plays as a two-way for us this year and possibly next year. Even though he did those 2 years, that doesn't mean he's going to just be a Raptor after that. So y'all need to think about the paths and what the contracts are and where they are in the roster and think about it more realistically. In some ways, Javon, we're going to get stuff out of him this year and possibly next year, but there may be not much after that. There may be not much after that. There's nothing wrong with getting good development and growing a player for a short term and then moving on and going somewhere else also. You can't keep everyone. Our roster is only 18 people, right? And we cut it down. We've got our final roster for the season at this point. That's right. We got our final roster last night after making the cuts. That's right. So let's see. Infamous is saying, salute freaks. We need to stop acting like we know what's going on behind the scenes. There's a reason why Dowtin got waived. There are many reasons. Trust the front office. Yeah, I'll agree with this. I've been saying this week already, gearing up for this. It's like, look, if there's a reason why Jeff's not on the team today. And it may not totally make sense to people just from the outside watching the games and stuff like that. But we just got to trust that this is the right decision for us going forward. Now, people second guess it. We're going to have people that are going to say this in the years to come. We should have just kept doubting. I'm going to expect it. But in some ways, second guessing, whatever, you got to stay in the now. And the now is moving forward all the time and changing. And if you're stuck in the past and you're holding on to things like, well, if Kawhi had never left, or, oh, we should have never done that to Dwayne Casey, or whatever, whatever your weird thing is, stop living in the past and get with me right now, the power of now, Eckhart Tolle, and let's live in the moment and presence and have presence. And presence is right now, we've got our team for the year, and we're looking forward to our season opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm with you on this, Infamous. And you're right. There's going to be other places around Raptors Nation today that are flipping absolutely the fuck out. And they don't need to. They really, really don't need to. Unnecessary suffering, once again. Unnecessary suffering. Name is saying, Precious had a wonderful first full game back. Javon and McDaniels played great too. Yeah, let me talk about those stat lines real quick. We'll start with Jalen McDaniels, 2 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. He did hit 2 threes, which is fantastic. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, plus 21 and 6 points. You know what's really cool? And somebody said this on Twitter last night. The Raptors had 10 blocks as a team, and Christian wasn't out there. So you're getting blocks from a lot of different people, and that's good. The shot blocking threats coming from all over the place is scary for other teams' offenses. And Jalen McDaniels is another one of these beautiful, versatile, 6'9" presences on our team. He's just added to the collection, and he's very, very good. And I love it. He's been fantastic and a great addition so far. So Jalen McDaniels has been a home run. Precious, 17 minutes also, 3 of 8 from the field. He missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts. 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. 9 points, a plus 20. So he's a very good plus. And Precious was doing the stat stuffing last night. He was one of the stat stuffers, getting all kinds of stats in all kinds of different places. As Darko said, he's not limiting Precious in his mind. Precious is going to be whatever he wants to be. Now, Precious said something interesting in his interview last night. He said, we all have reservations about the new system with Darko. He said it twice, and I didn't like it. At first, it struck me weird. Like he's kind of not totally trusting Darko in his equality system. And I guess he's saying that everybody on the team has different reservations. We know Scott said that he believes a rotation is 7 or 8 players, not 10. So he may have reservations about having a 10-man rotation, Scottie Barnes. Precious may have reservations about what his role is going to be and whether he's going to have the ability to grow into being a better and better player. Chris Boucher's obviously probably got some reservations about what's happening with the new coach, the new system, and him having to carve out his proof that he is a quality, dependable person to be putting in the roster rotation every night. So I get why Precious said that. I wish he hadn't kind of opened that up and said, well, a lot of us have reservations about what's going on here. Yeah, well, this is what we do here. We report on what we see and hear. Well, Precious is being very open and honest, saying we have some reservations about things. Hopefully not for long, when the winning just continues to happen over and over again. Nobody going to have no problems. In fact, OG in his short little interview after the game last night said the only thing he's worried about this season for him is winning. He's not worried about his minutes. He's not worried about starting. He's not worried about scoring. He's not worried about anything. He's just worried about winning. And I knew this about OG all along. He only cares about one stat. It's the one I care about. It's that W. And there you go. There you go. Yeah, I thought that those guys were unsung good bench guys. Precious, Jalen, and Javon for sure. And, Precious is going to get unlocked more and more under Darko. One of the things that I love about the marriage of Darko and Precious being around each other is that Precious has a what if unlimited mindset, just like his company. What if unlimited? He's not limiting himself as far as the potential or who he should be as an NBA player. And Darko does not do that either. So he has a path of development for Precious in mind. This can be very interesting, specifically to keep an eye on. We got to watch what's going to happen with Precious because he may be asked to do things that we haven't never seen him do on the court, and he may be very successful. In fact, Precious said after the game, his main strength on offense is attacking the rim with ferocity and strength and quickness, is aggressively attacking the basket, the rim. And I agree. I see him do that in the game, and I'm like, look out, get out his way. In some ways, it's his fourth year, and it's his last year of his rookie contract. So this is a huge year for Precious Achiuwa to prove the money he should be making in the summer. In some ways, we got to figure out how to pay him because honestly, just like Scottie, he's somebody I super value to continue to have on the Raptors roster in the future. And I hope that Masai is also thinking the same way. I think he is, because Precious is one of those guys that he has a strong connection to over the years. So, man, we got to tie up Achiuwa also next summer. Seriously, because I want him to be a part of our future. He's such a good player. He's such a good player. Seriously. Yeah, name is saying very encouraging. That's right. G's saying OG drained the pool. That's right. Oh, drained it right out. He was like, take a straw and spit it out. I don't know how he did it. Let's see. Tristan saying, I believe Dowtin will do well. All the best for him. I'm really worried about revenge games now. And he's on the Sixers now. That's the crazy thing. We cut him and we waive him. Well, he's got a great backup plan. He's on the Delaware Bluecoats. And he's a part of the Sixers organization. And Nick and them could do a shuffle around, and all of a sudden he's on their main roster as a backup point guard. He's the replacement for James Harden. All right, let's see. Mo's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Gradey and JFL really impressed me. Wow. Yeah, good morning to you, Monique, super fan. Very fun game last night. Fun game to be at. And yeah, Gradey is fitting in nice. I think he listened to them about not being so hectic. He slowed it down a bit more, but he was all over the place still, and just impressive. I don't see him he's very astute and smart for a young player. And rookie mistakes that some other rookies would make, he's not going to make them. And I like that. I like that a lot. He's ahead already. He hasn't even played an NBA game, and I already feel like he's an NBA player. Seriously, he looks like he's an NBA player already, and he's never played an NBA game ever. That's right. Cowboys saying the sirens where the Wizards are, they're still picking up the pieces. You're saying that they're sending somebody to go help them get out of town still? That's why there's sirens? Cowboy, that's hilarious. Nameless is saying, we saw that Flynn flamethrower last night. Boy, yeah, we did. Honestly, he came like he's advertised finally and made the threes. That's all I want, Malachi. I just want you to make the open threes, man. When you make them, I'll tell your legend. I'll toot your horn. I'll say great things about you like crazy. If you can make 3 out of 5 3-pointers, that's all you got to do. G saying Gradey had a nice game too. He really did. And I like the diversity in his threes. And I like that he got 4 of them and he had 12 points. In some ways, he's a kind of scorer that can really help us build a lead quickly, just like Gary. You've seen Gary in the last couple of years get hot in games, and then all of a sudden we have like a 30-point lead. Well, in some ways, those kind of 3-point shooters that can go volume, and if they're on it, they're hitting it, this is what could happen. So Gradey, in some ways, was that factor last night with so many threes in the second half. They were big feeding to the building of the huge lead over the Wizards was Gradey's threes. So, yeah, I'm all about that. Stargate saying, as a huge critic of Precious for the few years he has been in Toronto, I have to give him his props for his defense last night. It was OG level defense. Keep it up, Precious. Yeah, that's on the download, something about Achiuwa that he really prides himself. I'm telling y'all, the internal conflict on this team is not about scoring and who's going to get the baskets. It's about who's going to be the best defender on this team. And I'm sure they talk shit about it to a degree, maybe between OG, Scottie, and Precious. But honestly, there's other guys that could be involved in this as the top defender in this team, too. You know, Jakob is no slouch at defense. And as I said, Dennis is good. And then, of course, Siakam is way underrated for the way he plays defense. We have plus defenders at every position. And in fact, we got some plus defenders coming off the bench also after those top 5 starters that are all plus defenders. Seriously, our starting 5 is all good defensively. Dennis is absolutely a fantastic defensive point guard. Jakob is a true defensive center. And then you got the 3 guys in the middle that are absolutely all badasses at everything. And then you got another guy, Precious, coming off the bench. And you got Chris Boucher. Then you got Jalen McDaniels. Come on now. And then Koloko's healthy. Look out. Come on now. Defense. Yeah, it's like a tattoo on Fantasy Island saying the plane. I'm saying defense. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's keep going. Nameless is saying Gradey gets that shot off so quickly and next to impossible to stop. Yeah, he gives himself some room even when guys are up close to him too. He's got really good fundamentals and he's a real deal. He's a real deal. They said they drafted the best shooter in the draft. I believe them at this point. I wasn't sure about him or Jordan Hawkins, who would be the best shooter coming out of this draft, but I think it is Gradey. I think it is. He's got that Beastie Boy sure shot. He definitely does. Randolph's here. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings on this blessed morning. Let the games begin. Let's go Raptors. Wednesday coming up soon. We'll do a little bit more of the off-season schedule on this Raptor Freak channel. Tomorrow, Sunday special report. I'm going to be ranking the Eastern Conference and my predictions for how I feel like they're going to finish this year. So tune in tomorrow morning, 9:30, for my Eastern Conference rankings for this upcoming season. Then, of course, Monday moment, Monday memory, Tuesday trivia, and then we do a Wednesday preview for our first game of the season. So, yeah, we're getting out of the offseason. We're going into in-season mode. Lots of previews and reactions, just like today. That's right. Blessings to you, Randolph. We love you, man. Nameless is saying Gradey is an incredible rebounder. He's got a nose like a hound for it. You know, in some ways, I identify with him on this. My game, personally, when I used to play, was kind of like Gradey's in a way, like the hustle to get to the loose ball all coming off the rebound. Like, is really watching the arc. And sometimes it's because you're a good shooter. You can understand the physics of the way the ball bounces off the backboard or the rim, and you know kind of where that place is going to be. So that's part of what Gradey's doing. I know because that used to be one of my roles when I used to play, is kind of a roving kind of rebounder that will go and chase down the loose ball like that. So I see you and I feel you because I used to do that too, Gradey. That's right. Even if it's just getting your hand on it and tipping it out to somebody. We're seeing the Raptors do tip out rebounds a lot this year so far, where they may not get the ball clean with 2 hands and bring it down. But if they get their fingers on it, they're just a little bit above other people, they can bat it over to somebody on the outside. And hopefully they're getting an open 3 or something. Yeah. Let's see. David Saborn saying, bam, suck it. Do we all want to curb stop Flynn still? We never wanted to do this. You're over embellishing things. All we were doing this week, David, was we were vocalizing a preference for Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. if there was going to be any kind of a decision. It was a futile thing. The guaranteed and the non-guaranteed money is a big deal. Non-guaranteed means we don't have to pay him jack shit. Clean cut. And that's it. That's it. He's gone. If Malachi gets cut, then we have to pay him still, even though he's not on the team anymore. So, I mean, I get it. And I don't really like how you guys are over embellishing that we were hating on him or we were like curb stomping him. That's really not necessary or right. First of all, I was criticizing him in constructive ways and I wasn't putting him down. I never at one point said I hate Malachi. I only said I wish he would play better and I'm rooting for him. So let's get this right. And don't characterize it like we were like saying we wanted to curb stomp him. That's crazy, David. Come on now. That's really violent imagery. And I would never say that about people. G saying the lineup with McDaniels and Gradey had so much spacing. Trent didn't even play. We got us some shooters. That's true. That's a very good, astute observation by G. And you know what? I'm going to give him a dunk for that because that was a smart thing, observation. It's true. Gary usually is our space maker, and we really need to rely on him uniquely last year for this kind of stuff at times. And no, now we got other guys that are causing it naturally. You know, one of the cool things I noticed about the game yesterday is this. about Coach Darko. All right, the last 2 games against Chicago and Washington, we started the game with a signature slow start like the Raptors. The other team jumps out on us, and there was like, what, a 10-0 lead at the beginning of this game last night against Washington? Well, this happened last year too. We remember this. But think about last year. We start bad, and when would we turn it back on? Or at any point would we turn it back on? In some ways, having the short memory like Gradey to forget about the last shot that he missed to make the next shot is something that the whole team has to have a mentality about with the defense and with how the game's going. And I feel like at times Nick was allowing the team to try and sort through it and try and get over it by themselves without his help, and they were floundering at it. There was a lot of games last year where I felt like the coach could have been more involved to change how the game was going by just doing a couple simple things, but he didn't. He was passive about it, and they floundered for longer periods of time in the game, and it caused them for sure to lose. I really like how proactive, engaged, and involved Darko is so far. You know, you're not seeing these longer periods of stagnation and awful offense and bad stuff from the Raptors and their output. If you see that, it's for a very short period of time, and either Darko's making bench rotation changes or he is making an adjustment with his scheme so that it fixes it. And that is a huge difference from Nick to Darko, is he's more proactive to change the bad stagnation and energy and poor offense quicker. There's not like last night, we had those periods like last year where we couldn't do jack shit. We were stagnating, we couldn't score, and the other team's going crazy, but we were more quick to adjust and turn it around and come back and have more periods of time in the overall 48 minutes of the game that were quality basketball, winning basketball, and boom, you win by 36 instead of losing by 4 or 2 at the end of the game. That's a big difference, is the clearing out the stagnation quicker, because there are whole quarters last year we play under Nick Nurse and the stagnation would continue for the whole fucking quarter. And that's a huge difference I'm seeing this year with Darko and the way he coaches. And I love it. It's so much better. And honestly, it really makes me have a lot of confidence in his coaching skills because I'm seeing him make adjustments and changes quickly. And I love how he's doing the rotations. He's really smart and he's encouraging guys. He's getting more guys out there. He's getting more production and efficiency from guys that Nick ignored last year. And these are all very good things. Very, very good things. Nameless is saying Gafford looked timid, real timid against the Austrian tank. The Austrian tank, the Austrian yak. I wouldn't call it timid. At the beginning of the game, he's a real problem. With that alley-oop lob that he caught and threw it down right at the beginning. Gafford's a good player. I don't think he's intimidated. I mean, Jakob's stronger than him. I would bet on that for sure. I don't think he's intimidated. And this year, he has nobody in between him and starting. He's going to be starting every game. Last year, he came off the bench a lot because of Porzingis. But he's going to be starting. So he's going to be going to a new level. I like Gafford. He's a good player. But I think you're mischaracterizing him here. Stargate saying Jordan Poole, 7 points. You know what's fun? I realized this at the end of the game. Jordan Poole has 7 points. How many points did Gradey have last night? That's what I'm saying. Look, we can take about our rookie who's never played an NBA game, outscored the great Jordan Poole last night, 12-7. That's right, Jordan. You didn't do jack shit compared to our rookie, Gradey Dick. He beat you himself off the bench. That's right, with less minutes even too. Very, very beautiful. Tom Dukas got a basketball player in the water. That's a water polo player, isn't it, Tom? Isn't that water polo? I'm betting that's water polo. And he's got the water faucet turned off. I love it, Tom. I love your language, your emoticon language. David's saying, haha, Poole got blocked by 3 guys at the same time twice, trying to get to the net. Laugh out loud. Go back to Cali. He can't. He got exiled. You know that wizard got exiled. It's like he did something wrong to the crazy ogre Draymond Green. Draymond Green to me is like a Shrek or something like that. And like wizard, Jordan was a wizard along with Clay and Steph, and he just got kicked out of the wizard school because Draymond didn't like him. It's kind of like Hagrid said, Ron Weasley, I hate you. Get out of here. It's kind of like that is what he said. Like, get out of here, Ron Weasley. Yeah, you did that spell wrong. You changed my my pet into another pet, and I hate you for it. Get out of here. Hagrid said you got to leave, bro. All right, you're going to Washington. You're a wizard now. You're a true wizard. You graduated. You're a wizard. Name was just laughing at Tom. All right, Wayne Strainer saying Malachi was great. However, we were ahead by over 20. We need those shots when we're in trouble. You want to make sure we got that confidence in him when we're in a bad place, and we can count on him when it's a tougher time. I get what you're saying, Wayne. This is a fair point, but I think that he was fine. He played within the game. In some ways, let's see this situation come up later this season, and hopefully we see him successful hitting key threes to help us take a lead or come back and make up a deficit. For sure. I'm all about that. That's a good point. Infamous is saying he who shall not be named is starting a campaign to run Dennis out of town. He believes that he doesn't fit this team. He's frustrated that most people are not buying it. What an idiot. See, I told y'all, if Fred's gone, he's just going to pick a new target. Well, why wouldn't it be Fred's replacement, the point guard that's in the way of Scottie being the point guard? Fucking dumbass Robert Misovich, Robert Pensair basketball, unsubscribe. Tell that motherfucker to fuck off on your way out, too. Seriously, he can't respect a FIBA MVP world champion like Dennis Schröder right now. He has such a gaga guy eyes for Scottie. What a glazer. Everybody's dick riding Scottie. It's Pensair. Obviously, you are glazing him is what you're doing, Robert. How dare you glaze Scottie so hard like this to the detriment of somebody he loves like Dennis Schröder? Why are you doing this? You do not have this man's interest in your heart. Scottie's interests. You have your own selfish interests with your little kitty love, romantic love for him. What the fuck is wrong with you, Robert? Are you 15 years old and he's Scott Baio? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Seriously, put down the Tiger Beat magazines and stop being a teeny bopper for Scottie and fucking be a Raptors fan and realize that Dennis Schröder is really good for our team, you fucking dumbass. You want to lose your credibility quick? Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Everybody will see right through you and see that you're just a hateful, hiding in the dark piece of shit motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not mincing words this morning. So keep glazing Scott and putting down Dennis, and everybody will see the truth about you, Robert Pensair, basketball, you fucking dumbass. Yeah, there you go. Bam. Thank you, Infamous, for that. Yeah, people shouldn't buy it. Who wants to fucking buy that shit? Yeah, they're going to win a lot this year, and Robert's going to be all pissed off. Then we'll know he's not a Raptors fan. Seriously. The more we win this year, if he's like miserable and depressed, yeah, you'll know he's being paid by somebody from Knicks, Celtics, or Nets, or Cavaliers, or Sixers Nation. Yeah, you'll realize the truth about Pensair basketball, Raptors fans, that man's being paid by another fan nation to come in and cause confusion for our team. He did it successfully last year with his Fred bullshit. Don't fall for it this year. He's going to start up his new song of the radio as Dennis Schröder. Yeah, you know what he's doing then. You know what he's doing. Nameless is saying, David, that was hilarious, man. We are a huge, huge team, and it won't get any easier for opposition once Koloko returns. Yeah. You called him Kokomo. What are you, Beach Boys? Aruba, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Key Largo, Montego. Ooh, I want to take you down to Koloko. He'll block your shot and he'll tell you, yo, don't come in here anymore, no. Don't come to Koloko. Bam! Yes! Beach Boys cover song, Weird Al style. Yes! Top saying, I agree with you about Precious, OG, and Scottie's defense being pretty good. Though Pascal is adjusted offensively, in many instances, he's a space cadet on defense. He allows back cuts and blow-bys too much. I think that this is a symptom from what you're thinking about last year. We got to realize he was overburdened on the offensive end, and his defense did suffer last year. I know what you're talking about. He would have a lapse of judgment, but the man was exhausted carrying this team all by himself. And this is the thing. If his load is lessened on the offensive end, he has more time and energy to concentrate on his defense again. And this is the thing. Pascal has been a very good defensive player in his younger years. This is something that he had to do to get more time with Nick and Dwayne was play good defense. So the defense is there. He's just going to get reacquainted with it, and you'll see it back. It may be last year he didn't have enough time to concentrate on it because he's worried about carrying us through getting double teamed and trying to make shots. So watch for that top. Watch Pascal's defensive journey this season and see the difference, please. Please see the difference. He may be more aware this year. Watch. Especially if those problems were having last year. Well, maybe Darko teaches him. It's like, hey, I see you have a proclivity to not watch the back door and get burned behind you. Will you pay more attention to that this year? Yes, coach. Boom, less of a problem because he's aware of it and the coach pointed it out and talked to him about it. Stargate saying Malachi was steady last night, but he has to show consistency in or for me to deem him adequate for this team. Well, it doesn't matter if you deem him adequate for this team, Stargate. Masai and Darko and the rest of them have. And Masai really has deemed him adequate. So in some ways, it doesn't matter. If he doesn't play a whole lot this year at different times, if he is rotation regular every game, I don't care either way. I want to see him successful. If he doesn't get to play as much because of certain reasons, because somebody else rises up on the team like Marquise or Javon Freemon Liberty, let's just sit back with the popcorn and watch what's going to happen and enjoy it. And we'll have to see how much Malachi actually carves out, whether he's a hugely successful and a mandatory rotation player, or he's a bit part-time rotation player that gets to come in every 3 or 4 or 5 games. There's a couple of different places he could be, honestly. Tom Duke saying 10 blocks without Koloko. That's right. Kanono. That's right. G saying, haha, infamous. I told his crew that Dennis would be next. Predictable. It's because he desperately wants Scottie to be a point guard so he can be right. Scottie had like 1 assist, and yet I love this game. Yeah, Scottie's not a point guard. Scottie can say he's a point guard. That's why Robert wants to push this. He's like, I want what you want, Scottie. I love you. I love you. I love Scottie, but I ain't fucking trying to tell him he's the point guard or pushing him to be the point guard. I know what's best for him in some ways, and that's being down low and beating up those little babies with his low post, beating them up, being so strong and going up over them and over rebounding on them and rebound. Oh, I didn't make that one. I'll grab it again. I'll put it back. Oh, I didn't make that one. I'll grab it again. I'll put it back. It's going to go in at some point. Yeah, anybody who actually knows basketball can understand where Scott's strengths are. In a lot of ways, him receiving the ball is better than him passing the ball. He can pass the ball. He's going to do it. He enjoys that. But in some ways, that's his hobby. His job should be in the paint, is what I'm saying. His hobby should be passing. His job should be in the paint. That's where he should be making his money. That's when he's going to make more money being the dominant player that he can be. Exactly. If your guys are pointing this out to his crew, he has a crew. I imagine I don't even want to imagine what these people are like. So yeah, you predicted it and they know now. They know. It's like, Robert, keep outing yourself as a hater. And like, he just wants to be right. This guy's going to be the point guard. Well, you're not going to be right. I'm going to tell you that right now, Robert. You're going to fail at your number one priority in life. Because in some ways, Scottie will never, ever be designated the true point guard of the Raptors. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's never, ever going to be that. So you're going to be failing every single fucking year. So you're just going to pick whoever's our point guard that year. I'm going to go after Fred. Oh, I'm going to go after Dennis this year. Ooh, is Dennis back for next year? Okay, I'm going after Dennis even more. You know what? Dennis don't even give a fuck. Dennis, you get so much YouTube goodwill and love from everybody because of his goodwill. He's the opposite of Fred. In some ways, Fred can be an enigma, and you can fill in the blanks about Fred and say Fred is this, Fred is that, and people will believe you because Fred's not putting anything out there because he's just being Fred. Well, Dennis, you can't do that too. I'm going to tell you that right now because he's transparent. He's got everything out there on YouTube. His wife's got everything out there on YouTube. So you go ahead and start trying to spread some lies about Schröder. You realize you're going to get debunked every single fucking time, Robert Misovich. So you go ahead and come after Schröder, and I'll give everybody the link to his YouTube channel, and they'll find out the truth. You dumbass Robert Misovich, piece of shit motherfucker. Will you just choke on a bone and roll over and go somewhere else somewhere? Can you go fucking get into another sport or something, you fucking piece of shit, Panzer, fucker? Yeah, I'm going to cuss him out. That's right. Don't you go after my German guy. I love Dennis. He's a real deal, Holyfield, and you should be proud to have him on your team. The dishonoring. Well, you're so pretentious and like spoiled, Robert. You're like, oh, I don't want him on the team for Scottie. For Scottie. Fuck you, fucking Robert. You're not a Raptors fan. You don't think Dennis Schröder is good for this team. You fucking fuck. Oh my gosh, I hate Robert Misovich so much. I hate that guy so much. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Top saying, hopefully Pascal can get back to what he was defensively from 2016 to 2020 before the groin injury. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, top. In some ways, he's going to be an better defender than he was before because he has a body of work and knowledge that he knows even more of the other players. In some ways, he's a way better defender now than he was young Siakam. It's just he's got to reacquaint himself to that side of his game. Tristan saying, man, I would love to see Koloko out there. Loco get 10 by himself, 10 blocks by himself. Yeah, he's at the game. He's around the team. He's not infectious. He's not like, oh, don't cough on Marquise. He can't help it. He's so short. You're going to cough on him if you cough, Koloko. Don't cough on him. I'm not infectious. Well, what's wrong with you, bro? Oh, man, maybe I shouldn't have been vaping so much when I was 11. I don't know. What's wrong with him? What? Tell us, Raptors, please. Nameless is saying we're a good team. And young, bro, so much talent, all under 27. I mean, sleep on us, NBA. Don't put out any press about how good our young core is, how defensively juggernaut it is. Yeah, just ignore us. That's fine. That'll work out to our benefit when we come and slit y'all's throats in the middle of the night like we're pirates boarding your ship. That's right. We're going to do that. Yeah. Nameless is saying, agree, Lex. I'm not so sure Gradey sees much time in 905 at all this season. He will, but within balance. See, I go back and forth on this. I see a game last night from Gradey Dick, and I'm like, he doesn't need 905. But then also I'm like, well, we want to flesh him out for seeing how he does, like with 30 to 40 minutes a game. He has to play 905 because he's not going to get that kind of minutes on the main roster. He really will get bit minutes, like 10 to 12 minutes, 15 minutes a game is what he'll be getting on the main roster. So we just want to see how much he can go with his engine and conditioning. You got to play him on 905. Most saying stars of the game for her are Scottie, Dennis, Gradey, Javon, and I guess Malachi. She's saying begrudgingly Malachi. Maybe she's a Malachi hater, just slightly. I don't think she is. She's a Raptor lover, and that supersedes everything. But yeah, those aren't bad. You know, Dennis could have been in the top 5 too for me. I liked what Dennis did out there. It's understated. The 11 assists is a big stat for him. Tristan saying, someone said, is it more likely for Barnes All-Star or Gradey All-Rookie? Laugh out loud. Might be a good question. I think it's more likely Scottie's an All-Star. I really do. I think this rookie class is too power-packed, and Gradey is not going to be a starter. This is the thing that always hurts people with rookie awards is you got to be a contributor and maybe even a starter to get the high rookie acclaim like Scottie was. That's why Scottie had to start. He wouldn't be a rookie year if he didn't start for the Raptors his rookie year. So Grady's not going to start. So he should not be in the running for any of the rookie awards. If he gets all second and a rookie team, that would be a huge accomplishment. But I'm not holding my breath for it. Scottie's going to be an all-star this year. I know that he's going to be an all-star this year. So I'm going to say put that money on that, Tristan, for sure. Is the man's going to be so good that everybody's going to fall in love with him, and he's going to have to be an all-star. In fact, he might even get voted in as a starter for the all-star team this year. Watch. Seriously, it could happen. You know, that happened with Vince. Even though we don't get any shine up here and they don't want to push us, it doesn't matter when you've got a talent or a player like a Vince Carter or a Scottie Barnes. It is overwhelmingly popular and fun to watch. The people, the youngsters will vote for Scottie, and he could be starting in the All-Star game this year. You may think I'm crazy, but watch. If he shows dominance and he does crazy highlights and crazy stuff, the league's going to fall in love with him, and he will be a legit golden boy because the fans have made him a golden boy, not the league. So there you go. I'm really fully predicting this year. I mean, he's showing all the signs. It's there for the taking. That's right. Yeah, Nameless is saying, Gradey has already showed me tremendous growth since the summer tournament. I agree. I think you're right. He's taking it in. He's sponging it up, and he's learning quickly. In some ways, he can learn without having to go do it on the court. He can learn it in theory, and he can do it already when he comes into the court. Some people have to make the mistake, and then they learn from it. Well, he could sit there and maybe pick Otto Porter Jr.'s brain for an afternoon, and Otto's saying, yeah, well, Gradey, if you do this and you do this. He's like, okay, all right, okay, thank you, Otto. And then, boom, he does it. And then all of a sudden, he's a better pro without even making the mistake on the court to learn that tough lesson. That's what I'm saying. He's a smart kid. He's learning it quickly. Nameless is saying OG's name OG came with his nip pecs, his water pump pliers, and disconnected the inlet. This is like plumbing terminology. Once again, Nameless has some plumbing skills. He knows his plumbing tools, and he's given us the proper terminology for what OG did to Jordan Poole last night. He came over with his Nipex water pump pliers, and he disconnected the inlet. Wow. That sounds like what he really did. MSJ saying, I doubt Dick will be on the 905 much as he is the team's best shooter. Why send your best shooter 905? Sure, he has to improve, get stronger, but I think Darko will want an insta shooter on his bench. Well, Chris, he told me this week in an interview. Not me personally, but everyone. Darko said he's playing on 905 this year. He said it in the interview the other day. He said, yes, Gradey will be playing on 905 this year. So I already know there's confirmation. So don't act like he's not going to touch 905. He's going to play at 905. He's going to play at 905. Darko's already said he is. Nameless the same. Real fast. Yeah, he's going to learn real fast. Real fast. Guardian Transit thinks that Gradey and Javon are great dudes. Good dudes. I agree with that. Most saying Casey Bannerman jersey was in the crowd last night. Yeah, there was a young lady, a blonde lady, wearing the sequin Casey Bannerman jersey. I was trying to see if it was his sister. That'd be cool if like his sister bought one of the sequin Casey Bannerman jerseys, but I don't think it was his sister. I think there was just some other blonde lady that was wearing the sequined Grady Dick Casey Bannerman jersey at the game. Yeah, very cool to see one of those in live in person. You know what? Honestly, in some ways, that is a jersey made for a lady because it's flashy and women like sequins and stuff. A guy wears a sequin jersey is kind of in some ways. I mean, you can. It's fine. I won't judge you. But in some ways, it looks good on a lady. It really does. The flashy sequin Grady Dick jersey there. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rabbit Freak crew. I'm behind for joining late. Oh, that's all right, Cool Cat. We'll wait for you. No, just kidding. I was at the game. It was fun, and the crowd was fun. I see Masai going to bat for Flynn that we drafted, and Nick Nurse will add Dowtin Jr. to his Sixers team. Yeah. It's a bittersweet part of the sweetness of last night is the Jeffrey side of things. Yeah, that was a fun game. It was not as packed and not as crazy and active as the Sunday crowd for the Kearns Titans game. But I figured that for some reason, I was like, the Sunday afternoon game is going to be better attended than the Friday night game for some reason, but still very close to a sellout. I think it was 93% filled up. And the other day it was like 96 or something. So it was just slightly less people and maybe not as crazy because the crowd wasn't as full with kids as it was on Sunday. But yeah, it was a good crowd and we got loud. I was the only one in my section yelling defense the whole game, but it didn't matter. And people were looking at me and they're actually kind of like respecting me for it. It's like, oh, this guy really is a big fan. He's yelling defense the whole game. And some of these guys that were sitting near me tried to help, but their timing was real bad. They just didn't have good timing. I would go defense, and the guy would be like defense after me. It was really weird. But I was trying to be a leader in the crowd to get us up and get going. But of course, they only care about the T-shirts. These people are getting all crazy when the people come around with the backpacks and they're throwing the T-shirts at them, or they put the get loud thing on the screen. Then they get loud. But I'm talking about during the game when this defense going on. Get loud with me and take my direction with defense. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Jan saying things are looking good, Raps. Yeah, I agree with you, Jan. I do. I like what's happening with our team. And the other thing I really like is even if we have problems, I have faith in Darko that he's a very intelligent, smart adjuster, and he will be on top of things. I feel like last year things got bad and going the wrong direction because things were just not actively kept on top of. Well, our guy's on top of things. I really like that. Talking about our assistant coach, Pat Delaney, last night. Now, Pat was working for the Wizards last year, I believe, or he was on their coaching staff. He has so many friends on the other side. Before the game, Pat Delaney was standing with the Wizards coaches and just having them blast with these guys, like laughing and slapping each other on the back. And every single one of the Wizards personnel, as far as the coaches, even the assistants, the helpers, they all came over and gave hugs to Pat Delaney before the game. I mean, that says something about the character of Pat. That these guys really like him. They miss him on the Wizards coaching staff. So that was pretty cool to see is how much love was there. Otto Porter also going over and saying hi to a lot of the Wizards people. Of course, he was on that team for a while too. And then the other thing that was interesting was the move with Justice Winslow yesterday was interesting because as soon as we signed Justice Winslow after we waived a maker, Justice Winslow tweeted on his Twitter, Darko. So he's a fan of Darko, apparently, Justice. And this may be part of the reason why he's with us on our G League, other than he needs a chance to try and still make the NBA. But in particular, he may be very happy to be working in the system with Darko, because I guess they've crossed paths in their path in the past. And apparently, Justice Winslow's a fan of Darko Rajakovic. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that are a fan of Darko around the league. And, we would talk about Nick. There's some people that aren't fans of him. There's a difference right there. There's a lot of people that aren't fans of Nick. And there's a lot of people that are fans of our new coach. That's for sure. All right, let's see. Nameless saying, drop a like, ladies. Bam. All right, let's see. G saying, as much as I don't want Dowtin on the Sixers, I do want him in the NBA. So I do hope Nick Nurse takes him. Yeah, I hope he elevates him and he gets to play on the main roster. I think that's pretty likely. Honestly, I don't know if they can give him a two-way. They might have to just move him right up. And the way the Sixers are with their team and injuries, it may work out for Jeffrey in better ways than with us. I hate to say it, and I don't want to see Nick using him against us and him killing us. Like if Jeff hits some sort of game winner against us and we lose to the Sixers somehow, some way, knock on wood, not to happen. I'm just saying that's part of my weird premonition about Jeffrey is either he's going to do something really good for us or he's going to really hurt us. And now it's on that side where he's going to hurt us because he's not with us anymore. Yikes. Stargate saying, my issue with Freemon Liberty is that he is truly committed to the team. His comments about him moving on when we developed him rubbed me the wrong way. They did me too. And that's why when I have that kind of reaction to it, I have to be honest as a Raptors fan, a passionate Raptors fan who's for the Raptors first. When I hear that, that's a red flag. I'm like, oh, he's already talking in the past tense about us. And I'm like, that's all I'm going to do. I don't care if he uses us for development and does what he does under the terms of his contract. That's his life. But in some ways, he told us he's not a real one and not somebody that we should be investing in for the long, long time. He's here for a stop. He's here for a spot of coffee, and he's on his way is basically what we're saying. Now, that doesn't mean we should hate him or be against him or be like Stargate's, it rubbed him the wrong way. Let's give him a chance, and let's hope he has success with us with the time we're with us. In some ways, that's part of the problem is everybody wants everything to be permanent. Everything in the world is kind of shifting and changing and evolving over time. And we're not going to keep every single player forever. There's always going to be sad goodbyes like Delano Banton and Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. So in some ways, when Javon Freemon Liberty moves on, that's just a natural part of the process. And it's like a relationship. You may be dating someone and it's temporary. And it may just happen for its lifespan. They're supposed to. And then things move on. You can think about it that way with the players also. There's a natural lifespan of Javon Freemon Liberty being around the Raptors. And we'll see how long it is. It may be longer than we think. It may be shorter than we think. We don't know. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying, I'm okay with Jeff being waived because Flynn showed me something last night, and Freemon looks nice. Jeff's replacement is Freemon. In some ways, you're not far off. They're a similar size player. I think that Jeffrey's more of a true point guard, but in some ways, there's some of the scoring stuff that Jeffrey could do that Javon can fill in even better. That's for sure. Javon Freemon Liberty is a lot more different than Malachi in some ways. So you get a difference in looks. That's one of the things that people were saying this week. In some ways, that's what Greg said on his pieces on Gubstown Clink, is that the difference really between Malachi and Jeff is negligible. It's not really that much. So, but in some ways, Javon Freemon Liberty is a much different look and different skill bag than Jeff and Malachi. So there's more variety and variance in our roster with waiving Dowtin Jr., still having Flynn and Freemon Liberty. Yeah, I can see that. Cool Cat saying, we have built our team for anyone saying we need to tank to rebuild. Well, look at our team. It's a new team. Then we'll make a decision on our potential free agents. People that still bring up the idea of blowing up this team, you're ridiculous. There's no reason why we blow this team up. We have too many good players on our team. So any tank or like blowing up talk needs to die. Like I said, it needs to go extinct like the dodo. It's not a realistic NBA strategy for a franchise build. They've outlawed it, first of all. You get penalized if they know you're trying to lose on purpose. And then second, we have too many good players to like start from scratch right now. Seriously, there's too much time invested in our good players and having them here. You want us to get rid of our good players over and over again because you're fans of other teams acting like you're Raptors fans in our fan nation. And then good Raptors fans start listening to y'all and parrot what you say. That's what I'm saying. If you're a good Raptors fan, you were never for blowing up this team. Because blowing up this team is not creating, it's destroying. And it means starting over, and it means being shitty for a while. That's why other people want us to do it. That's why the forces in the U.S. say, blow it up. It doesn't make any sense. Well, if you're a Raptors fan, you love this team, don't ever talk about blowing it up. It's not the right strategy. Starting from scratch in the NBA is never good. And we were a 500 team exactly last year. Well, we can go either up or down. I say we'll go up. That's the right direction. It's not down. It's not the right direction. That's right. Stargate saying not truly committed, I meant to say. Yeah, Javon is what he is. He's in the present moment. He's on the Raptors, but we'll see where he is at the end of this contract in this two-way. Trevor's saying Gary didn't even play, so imagine if he played last night. Yeah, well, Kuzma didn't play either. So, I mean, you can't really say that's a big deal. And once again, it's preseason. It's preseason. Cool Cat saying from big picture, our guys are still learning the schemes. When it becomes second nature, the ball will be whipping fast on ball movement. And the one thing I like is the connectivity is going to get so much better with the team. That was all kind of bullshit when they kept saying we need more reps with the guys together in the last 2 years so they can get their chemistry up. Well, if your system is not conducive to building chemistry, you're not going to build any chemistry. Well, this year, our system is conducive to building chemistry, and we will actually see better connectivity over the course of the season as it goes on. There may be a lot of really cool trick plays or really crazy, fantastic full court passes or any kind of crazy behind the back pass or between the legs pass. There could be some really interesting ways that our guys start linking up with each other because they're more comfortable with the system and they know each other better. So the reps, getting more reps with each other, that actually matters now because they're actually trying to pass it to each other. So I'm all about that. I am. The second nature is going to grow is what we're saying, Cool Cat. Yeah. Second nature is going to grow. Mo's saying, I love how they mic'd up Marquise Noel. They mic'd him up for the game. I don't know. I was at the game. I didn't see it. So they mic'd him up for a little while in the game. That's cool. Nameless is saying, I could listen to Darko talk basketball all day. Loving the accent too now. Sounds like Dracula. That's pretty funny. Yeah, he's awesome. He's very charming. And once again, he really is savvy with the press. He's savvy in all kinds of ways. In some ways, I feel like he's like a perfect coach. He's like a perfect coach. I don't know what his weakness is. I don't even want to know. I don't ever want to find out. Let's just see him being just a badass coach in all areas because I'm okay with it. If he's a badass tactician, he's a badass people person. He's really good with the press. He seems like he's got a pretty good demeanor with the refs so far. There's a lot of different factors with your coach, and it seems like he checked, like they said, the summary is like he just checks all the boxes. That's why they said we decided on Darko because he checked all the boxes. Well, I feel like he does. At least all the boxes I'm seeing, they seem like they're checked. Yeah, they do seem like that. Let's see. Shaq saying Marquise is not ready for the NBA or the G League. Would like to see a trade with Thad, Otto, and Garrett get another point guard. You just want to trade all the old heads. Shaq Lindsay trying to get those old heads off the team and then denigrating Marquise. I'm going to tell you this right now. Marquise is going to be a badass in the G League. He's going to kill it in G League. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to make guys look stupid on the G League. And some of the highlights you're going to see of Noel in the G League is going to be fantastic. Just get ready for them. They're going to be fun. Get your popcorn ready. You're going to be shocked at just how much he belongs in the G League and possibly belongs in the NBA. Everybody just looks at him and they say, yeah, that guy can't play in the NBA. Well, he heard you and he's going to prove you wrong. Watch. Last time this happened was a guy named Fred, and I thought the same thing that you thought. This guy won't make the league. He won't make it. That's why I'm not going to make the same mistake. I said the same damn thing about Van Vliet, and he totally proved me wrong. When he showed up on our 905 as the last guy on the bench, there's no way this Van Vliet guy's going to make this team. I looked at him the same way. I was like, he's too short. He's too little. Yeah, we'll see. Don't count him out. Don't count him out. G saying, Javon tweeted Darko. Darko is truly loved and respected among his players. That was Justice who tweeted that. That wasn't even Javon. That was Justice Winslow that tweeted Darko. Yeah, it was Justice, the new guy. Nameless saying 1, 2, He's doing the Count Von Count from Sesame Street. He's my favorite vampire. Yeah, he is. If I had to pick my favorite vampire of all time, it's Count Von Count, of course. Jam Jose is here. Jam Jose. Good to see you, Jam Jose. Wagwan, Raptors freak, Jam Jose reporting for duty. This is going to be a fun season. I get the vibe. We're going to be surprising a few talking heads. Do I dare say shock the world? I like that. Well, what did we do last night? We shocked the Poole. We shocked the hell out of the Poole, and then we drained it. So, yeah, we shocked the Poole. We shocked the Wizards. We shocked them each as we come. And they don't need to tell anybody. No, we don't need to leave any survivors to tell the story. We'll travel from city to city, and we'll just tell the story in the way we beat them down. No survivors to tell the story like in the movies. No, we don't want that. We don't want that Mickey and Mallory. We don't want any survivors. We want to just beat them all down and don't tell anyone so that the surprise is worth every city it works. That's right. That's right. Jam Joss, always happy to see you, my good friend. Yes. Fiercely saying, I was unable to watch the game via TSN, hence watched via the Wizards channel. The commentator literally said, Malachi Flynn, the backup point guard to Dennis Schröder. Right then, I sensed something was up. Well, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. That's the way we've been playing these guys. And who is it? Drew Gooden? Isn't it Drew Gooden who's doing the announcing for them? He's the play color. Yeah, I think it's like Phil Chanier and Drew Gooden or something are the Wizards announce team. Well, that's what the team is. Malachi's been our backup point guard for a few years, so that's not really a mystery that they know that. And obviously, Dennis is our starter. So, but that's interesting. Tell me more about what they said during the broadcast, specifically about what the Raptors did to them. That'd be fun. Stargate saying, so get rid of every single vet, right? Okay, great team building strategy as Shaq Lindsay. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. We saw Garret Temple get out there for a little bit. He didn't do anything. He was probably the worst player for the Raptors last night, but it didn't matter. It didn't really matter. And I love having these guys on this team. Honestly, I don't like the youth movement of the league overall. And the fact that the Raptors are bucking the system and kind of going the other way against the grain is good. Is good because in some ways we may find intangibles and rewards for having a bunch of old heads on our team. That seems like Memphis, they're trying to find out because they got Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart all of a sudden. You know, Houston went this way too. They're like, we need Fred, we need Dylan Brooks, we need Jeff Green, we need a bunch of old heads around. Well, that's what people realize. And you let just the youngsters run the team. Well, you become the Charlotte Hornets, and nobody wants to be the Charlotte Hornets. So people are scrambling to get more veterans this year. That's what it seemed like. So having vets on your team is smart. And I think that there's going to be all kinds of ways it pays off this season. Watch. Fiercely saying Ron Harper Jr. put a nice Instagram post for Dowtin. Yeah, that was sad. In some ways, that made me very sad to see. Let's look at Ron's box score since I haven't really talked about him too much. He only played 6 minutes, but he got 5 points. So that's really good. 5 points in 6 minutes. That's really good. 2 or 3 from the field. He hit a 3. It was that really ugly shot. He pushes this ball forward in front of him, and he was in the corner. So he's 1 and 2 from 3. He had a rebound and assist. Solid game by Ron. Nothing too flashy, nothing too a lot, but good and solid. Getting that many points in that little minutes. So I was all about it right there. Yeah. G saying I said Javon, but I meant Justice Winslow. Tweeted Darko. Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry, G. We got. And Name was saying, welcome, Jam Jaws. Bam, 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 bam. Cool Cat saying, Jordan Poole, welcome to the East. Better defensive. He said, not in our house, 7 points. That's right. Poole, you ain't no brother no more. You are a wizard in exile. And yeah, you forgot that you had to come to Toronto and meet the plumber. Mr. Plumber, that's right. Mr. Plumber, we're going to clog your drain. We're not getting it cleaned out. No, we're the opposite of Mr. Plumber. Yeah. Nameless is saying, I'm grabbing one of those Team Germany shirts, 100%. Those are awesome shirts. Honestly, I want one. Seriously, I don't mind rocking the ugly mug of Mo Wagner on my T-shirt. If Dennis is there, yeah, I don't mind having a big goon, ugly Daniel Tice on my T-shirt. If Dennis is there, yeah. David's saying, wait, whoa, wait. It jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get back. And please give me a cutoff, y'all. Adriana is here with me, and we're going to hang out and have a nice afternoon. Yeah. Let's see. Where is David? Wow, there is a lot here. All right, seriously, no more, guys. No more taka, because I got to get going after this. All right, let's see. Where were you? David saying, wait, we waived Jeff? That's insane. Should have waived one of the old heads. And Tom's pointing at that. No, we last night. We did what we thought we were going to do. We waived Mogi, we waived Justice Winslow, and we waived Jeff Dowtin Jr. This is exactly how I thought it was going to go. It went exactly how I thought. I was hoping. That's why I was making the last minute ditch attempt this week, David. That's why I was going off for Jeff this week. It's the last chance to save him. and politic for him. Do you understand why I was going so heavy for Jeff now? Because he got waived last night. That's right. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay saying Scottie played great, but Pascal was the star. He allowed the game to come to him and play a junkyard role, attacking the glass. Pascal is buying into the system because allowing others to shine. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay, exactly right. We didn't really look at Siakam's stat line because he wasn't one of my 5 stars, so I'll look at him now. Siakam, 26 minutes, 19 points. He was a plus 19, 7 of 16. That's not bad. He was 0 for 3 from his threes. He did miss 2 free throws. 2 offensive rebounds, 8 rebounds altogether, 3 assists, and 1 block. A solid game by Siakam. Very, very good game. I actually really strongly considered putting him as one of the 5 stars. But in some ways, he was not exactly the optimal Siakam, but he was very close, and he was not bad. That's by far, for sure. He was very good. And he's playing within the system, which is really awesome, isn't it, Shaq Lindsay? You see, when he's not the selfish guy. It was Nick. Nick was making him play selfish, and Siakam can play very unselfish, is what we're seeing. Nameless is saying they beat the system, not the players. One of the truest things you ever wrote. Yeah, there you go. They can beat the system that Nick made up, but they can't beat those players one-on-one. No, they can't. Wayne's saying going against our credo here, but no way Harper Jr. deserves a spot over Jeff. We all were wrong last year when we said Jeff would be okay in the summer. We move on, but we don't have to like it. I'm sad. Yeah, okay. This is a good way of dealing with this. Like, if you want to mourn something, definitely deal with it. Don't hide your emotions or push them down. Definitely let it all come out and deal with it now. That's the healthiest time. So, Wayne, I'm with you. I am sad about this also. And I won't disagree with what you're saying as far as Harper Jr. versus Dowtin Jr. But in some ways, it's also where they are in their careers. We got to realize Jeffrey is 26. He's older. And Ron's much younger. And also, Ron has more two-way eligibility. He has actually a couple more years of two-way eligibility where Jeffrey just doesn't. He's used every single two-way year that he can use. He cannot be a two-way anymore. So when he goes to Philadelphia, he's either going to be straight up on the G League team, or they're going to sign him and upgrade him and put him on the main roster, which is what I think they will do. I think I could see Nick doing this. So Jeffrey's going to be okay either way. But I agree with you. I would have rather kept Jeffrey in some ways over Ron Harper Jr. But once again, we're not in that position. And this is Bobby and Masai and Teresa and Dan's job. And in some ways, I question it, but also in some ways, I don't know the whole story, so I should just accept it. Is really kind of where I'm at. But I'm with you on this, Wayne. A lot of what you're saying, I'm on the same exact place with you. But in some ways, we got to move on and we got to go forward, and that's what we're doing. David's saying, me too. I never understood why Harper Jr. is here, to be honest. Well, we've speculated. Part of the reason is Wayne Embry and the connection to the Harper family. It could very well be. I don't know. Ron showed something last night. He's worthwhile. He's an all-around good player. We just need him to make a jump this year of some sort. And you guys will feel better about him. Watch. Infamous is saying, I have a feeling we're going to get into a lot of fights and scrimmages because we're going to frustrate teams on the defensive end, especially. Prepare for fights and ejections. I don't know. I don't want to preview that or predict that because I kind of don't want that. You know, we've seen a little bit of Dennis getting in the face of Kobe White the other day. I like that. That fight is important. The way that these guys will stand up for each other is important. Now, I want to bring this up, and this is alluding to something that was just talked about with our vets. You know, our vet contingency is really valuable, honestly. I want to tell you what I saw after the game last night when the cameras were off. And I was just in the arena. After the game, Garret Temple went and took Matt Boland and Josh Tiven, the two main refs last night, and had a long discussion with them. I don't know what he was saying to them, but he was very much advocating for the Raptors and the calls we were getting. In particular, two people were getting really shitty calls. Jakob Poeltl got those 2 early center fouls. Once again, we saw Boucher get it against Chicago. It's like the refs are putting a penalty on the Raptors with their center. We'll hang 2 fouls on them within the first minute of the game. We've seen this kind of behavior from the refs before. And so there was an unfair whistle towards Jakob early. And then they were really unfair towards Dennis in a part of the first half also. There was one particular screen where Dennis ran his face right into somebody and actually hit his nose, and he was actually kind of hurt. And the foul was on him somehow. So there was some screwy calls by the refs last night. I did not like Tibbin and Boland's calls last night. They were against the Raptors. But as I was saying to Adriana, it's like, we don't give a shit. They can be against us. We'll beat them too. We'll beat whatever the fuck they put in front of us. The rest are not exactly right for us. So after the game, I saw Garret Temple have a little talk with Tibbin and Boland, and it was not for a short period. He went over there and he had a discussion with them about how the game was reffed. So this is, if you guys want to know another reason why to have Garret Temple on your team, well, he's the vice president of the Players Association, and he has some power politically in the NBA, and he's going to go and talk to the refs after the game for us on our behalf. Does that sound like that's a well investment? Getting a little bit more favor with the refs because we got old head that can go talk to them and set them straight. It could very well be in the future Josh Tibbin and Matt Boland call us different because of a little talk with Garret Temple after the game. So yeah, that was something interesting I saw that you're not going to hear on other Raptors channels or other content places, because I was at the game and I saw it in person with my own eyes. And not many people are going to observe that or talk about that. It's a little bit of extras you get on the Raptor Free channel right there. Yeah. So not many fights, many more politicking with the refs between Garret Temple and them, hopefully. Name's saying, I think they think Ron Harper is another unicorn too, David. His body is like weird. He is like a mini Scottie. This is true. He's shorter than Scottie, but he has the same kind of build. He's very strong, and he's quick too. So in some ways, there's a lot of parallels between Scottie Barnes and Ron Harper Jr. It's just that he's a smaller version of Scottie in some ways. In some ways, he doesn't have all the skills as defined as Scottie either. But in some ways, they're of the same build. If you could say that Chris Boucher is twinning with Mogi, in some ways you could say that Scottie Barnes is twinning with Ron Harper Jr. And that the things that Scottie can do all around, in some ways on another level, Ron can too. And that's why you could say that. Yeah. David's saying, I hope so, Infamous. I like what Dennis said in his interview. We aren't going to win every game, but we'll go out there and take their heads off. Yeah, Dennis is for real, man. I love that dude so much. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite Raptors. Very, very much. I expect him to have a YouTube clip today at some point. He better have one. I'm starved for one. I want to see what happened in the Chicago game and the game last night, Dennis. Give us your game day vlogs. Please. David's saying also a unicorn, maybe on a horse track. I know you don't like Ron, and you'll diss Ron. But in some ways, it's innocuous. He's a guy in a certain position on a roster. It's not really a big deal. You really want to maximize everybody at every position? Sure, maybe you should have kept Dowtin Jr. instead of Harper Jr. But Harper Jr. is younger, and he has more to grow into in some ways than Jeffrey at this point in some ways. So Tom Duke saying, I watched it over and over. No need to knee contact for Scottie. He did move awkwardly. Totally did roll his right foot, but then held his left thigh as he walked off. It could very well be Scottie had to go somewhere because he never came back. Maybe he did a little faking injury and Popovich was joking the other day. He almost got thrown out of the Spurs game just so he could watch Becky Hammon and the Aces play their finals game. So sometimes these guys may do this. Scottie was really adamant about getting into the game at that time. In some ways, I didn't really see the injury either. I'm glad that Tom went back to kind of analyze it. But it could very well be Scottie just wanted to get out of the game quickly all of a sudden. Maybe he faked an injury, and then he ran to the back like he was hurt so he could leave. Maybe he had something to go do last night. He's like, I'm going to leave in the third quarter. And, y'all don't care, right? No, we don't care, Scottie. You were the best player in the game. You just kicked ass. We were going to win by 30. Yeah, I'm going to leave, y'all. I'm going to act like I rolled my ankle, and I'm just going to put my clothes on, and I'm going to go home, and we're going to play 2K for a little bit. Something like that. I don't know. This could be, I'm speculating, I'm just making shit up, but could it be possible that Scottie faked an injury just to leave the game and be able to leave without being saying, why isn't he on the bench? It's like, I'm sure stuff like this happens sometimes. Seriously. Let's see. David's saying, that's what I saw, Tom, but I'm no medical expert. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Evelyn's saying, good morning, fam. My heart is broken. Oh, damn. Jeff Dowtin Jr. was not given the chance to prove himself. But I have so much respect for the organization. We the North. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Granny Evelyn. It's a sad day for Raptor freaks because we did love Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. A lot of us really do love him, and we still can love him, except for when he's playing against us. So, yeah, I'm sad about it, too. My heart was broken a little bit about it last night, too, Evelyn. But once again, Deal with your emotions, go process them, get through them, and then let's move on. It's like holding on to bad negative emotions turns you into Pansair. Let's go. Monique saying, thanks for the memories, Jeff. That's right. Thanks for the memories, Jeff. Hasta la vista, baby. Now you can go and have fun with those guys. Good luck with those guys, Jeff. Good luck with those guys. Names is saying strange injury. Well, what Tom said, he's like, it looked like it was the other ankle, but he's holding his other thigh. Brian Winders. And why didn't he come back to the bench? If it was just a little bit of a turn of a roll, I think he left. I seriously do. And he really wanted to leave quickly because you saw how he purposely fouled Corey Kispert like that. He grabbed him. He's like, refs, I want to call the game. I want to leave right now. It's funny. David's saying Kuzma is by far their best player. Poole is overrated. Kuzma is underrated. Yeah, Kuzma's more better all-around player. Poole is overrated. This is exactly right. And Kuzma is underrated. Very, very true, David, all around. Nameless is agreeing too. Kuzma is underrated as much as I hate to admit it. He really is. He got sullied because of the Lakers exit and the getting discarded. And you know who's a big part of Lakers Nation's a big part of NBA media sphere. And they just sullied him. They sullied Dennis. They sullied different people that leave their team. And then when they come back, they push them back up again. Well, yeah, they sullying Kuzma because it was unceremoniously booted from the Lakers team. The Lakers nation downgrades him in the whole eyes of the whole NBA world because they have a very powerful perception that gets promoted more in places. So that's part of it right there. It's part of it right there. Stargate saying these kids are so quick to call people haters just for simple criticism. Shaking my head. I know. Let's grow a thicker skin. In some ways we just like being a little critical. We're not making personal attacks. See, that's the difference. If somebody does something, you want to see them do it differently. Well, it's just kind of help them. But you don't have to denigrate them or put them down. Let's see. Wayne's saying, who called us haters against Malachi? Do you listen and watch this channel? We advocated for Flynn for years now. It's about comparing performances of our players and when we needed a winning shot. Yeah, we're just trying to be fair. And once again, we want the Raptors to win. We want Malachi to do well because he can be a part of the Raptors winning. So there's no hate for Malachi. There's absolutely no hate. And we're not blaming Malachi for why Jeffrey's not on our team this year. It's because this is the management's decision. Stargate saying Kuzma would not have made any difference in that game last night. I will agree with that. Okay, maybe instead of a 36-point win, it would have been 26-point win for the Raptors. I'll agree with this. Stargate, I think you're right. Infamous is saying, I see Darko long-term plans for Pascal by limited his workload during the regular season. He will be fresh for the postseason run. Yeah, that's a big thing. Like Siakam said, my legs like playing for Darko. What did he get last night for minutes? Like, it wasn't anything crazy. He only played 26 minutes. He didn't even play 30 minutes. Of course, it's preseason still, and we'll have to see what his regular workload will be in the regular rotation in the regular season. But we see him start creeping up near 40 minutes, then we'll be like, Darko, hello. Pascal's legs, remember to take care of them for the postseason. That's right. Kareem saying Flynn was a great player with the Aztecs before being drafted in the first round by the Raptors. Clearly, this front office loves him, and clearly they hired Darko to unlock him. Yeah, I agree with this. Kareem was very much in Jeff Dowtin's camp with me this week. And look, he's touting and tooting the horn of Malachi Flynn this morning. And I appreciate that. It's true. Malachi has a lot of gifts and skills. It's just we have not seen them. Once again, I'll use the iceberg analogy about Malachi Flynn on the Raptors. We're only seeing the tip. And there's a huge body of what he is about in his body of work and what he's doing with the Raptors that we have not totally perceived yet. And it could be that the bud just blossoms and blooms into a big flower all of a sudden this season. And that's what we're hoping. G saying Darko developed Bane. So Kareem, yes, there's probably something Darko sees and wants to try and unlock. Yeah, we can. I'll bet you it'll happen. We'll have to see. I wish it for Malachi. I'm so sick of being on the fence about him. I want to be one thing about him and being really strong and supporting him, just like most of the Raptors. And in some ways, I've been on the fence on him. I don't want to be on the fence anymore. I just want to support you and say, this is a great Raptor, and I'm glad he's on our team. Shaq Lindsay saying there's already friction in Washington. Danny and Poole got into it on the bench last game. Poole is selfish and doesn't do much but shoot. Yeah, I mean, we could see that. We could see that. Achiuwa was the leading scorer for them last night and not Poole. But they lost real bad. They won when Poole was the leading scorer. I don't mind the dissension. I don't mind the problems there. That's an Eastern Conference team. That's right. MSJ saying, I see this team as coming together. All the moves the front office made looking nice. We can put out a lineup of the 6'9 vision still. Precious, Chris, Pascal, Jalen McDaniels, Scottie Barnes, OG, Gradey, anchored by Yak with Dennis. Nicely done. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. John Views waiting for the naysayers about Malachi Flynn. Hello, we're listening. What is that? What do I hear? I hear the hum of a fan. I don't hear anything else. Maybe a little crickets. Yeah, Tom's got him out there. Jam Joseph is saying, to his credit, Poole was trying. Yeah, he was. He was trying and getting blocked, trying and falling on the floor, trying and missing and breaking shots on the outside. Yeah, he was trying. Shaq Lindsay saying, I love Precious, but OG is the best defender in the league. I agree. But is this a bad competition to have? It's usually on teams, it's like, I want to be the leading scorer. And there's like three guys trying to battle to be the leading scorer or something like that. Well, would you rather have three guys trying to battle to be the best defender in the league? That's probably good, because if all of them are doing, they can all be successful, and it'll be really hard to figure out who it is. In some ways, they can cancel each other and make it hard for them to win any individual awards because they're all together and stuff. I get that. But they need to be so good, and we need to win so much that they're undeniable. That's right. Cool Cat saying, I see more of Coach Darko's schemes when I went to both preseason games compared to watching the other preseason games. Yeah, I could see him too. We were at the same games because they're the only two games that were here in Toronto, the Taipans and the one last night. I don't know. I saw a lot of it in Chicago too. But we're starting to get to know the personality of the coach. We really are. And I like it. I like it a lot. Kareem saying, I got 3 words for you. O.G.Annunoby. I know. That was so weird. He's like, I got 3 words for you. O.G. Annunoby. Okay. That's 3 words. That's 2 initials in a word. Kind of. Darko. I got an English degree. I'm kind of like, is that really 3 words? That's like 2 letters in a word. All right. I won't be a stickler on that. David saying, yeah, where are those Philly fans that chirp us? Where are the Nuggets fans? Amazing how they all disappear. Nuggets fans are friend. We have no problem with Nuggets fan. Number 1 Nuggets fan, you come in here, you're our guy. We love you, man. Go Nuggets. The NBA champions. I celebrate Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. I'm not a hater for them. So I don't mind the Nuggets fan. Nuggets fans fine. The Philly fans, yeah. Although if random gamers, if different people come back that are favorite Philly fans, we love you guys. Blue Steel, or what was it? Blue something. We had a couple of Sixers fans that were coming in here all the time that were awesome. Celtics fans, You know, the other fans, we had a Charlotte fan that was out of pocket for a little while here for a while. The Charlotte fan was hilarious. Names is saying, I don't know what y'all are talking about. That was a damn witch hunt for Malachi, and I don't necessarily mean in this chat either. Yeah, well, overall, I mean, this is the debate of the week was trying to save Jeff. So Jeff lovers were trying to make things happen. And Malachi had an 0 for 7 game on Tuesday. That's really bad timing for like the training camp battle. So understand the settings for this. And Raptors fans that watched Malachi for a couple of years were kind of sick of this shit. So it's like, yeah, we need to see more of last night and less of Tuesday night because it's a problem when he's playing like Tuesday night. And it's fine when he plays like last night. Y'all can go ahead and be woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, I told y'all. I don't give a shit. Things just happen the way they did. And I won't take back anything I said this week because I didn't really say anything bad about Malachi. I said that I prefer Jeff over Malachi. That's all I said. I didn't say like, oh, Malachi sucks and I hate him. I said, you got to play better if I want him on this team is what I said. So, witch hunt, well, you can describe it however you want. Somebody's described it as a curb stomp, a witch hunt. It's all over dramatized language. Let's just put it that way. Stargate saying Dennis played well last night with those 11 assists, but he seemed to have some issues guarding Tyus Jones at the point of attack at times. To Malachi's credit, he actually guarded Tyus better. You know, Tyus was feeling like Wish Fred VanVleet last night. I was watching him out there, and I'm like, that dude is like Fred VanVleet on Wish, is what Tyus Jones looked like me last night. You know, Tyus Jones has a very strong connection with Darko from being on the Grizzlies last year. So there was a lot of love shown between him and Darko after the game also. It's really cool how Darko's staff has various people around it, including somebody like Garret Temple, Otto Porter Jr., and Thad Young. They played with most of the league themselves. But then coaches like Pat Delaney, James Wade, different people have different connections in different places. And the Pat Delaney connection to the Washington Wizards was definitely there last night. They love Pat Delaney on that Washington Wizards bench. I'm telling you, they really do. Let's see. DCL XVL love free Flynn. All right. Thank you for joining us today, Eric Flynn. And yes, Nick Nursery is gone. The terrorism is over. Young man Flynn can play again, and he will be playing. Watch. Monique saying TSN broadcast did a really nice feature on Dennis and Germany and the Raptors. Very cool. I'll have to see if I can find it online since I was at the game. MSJ saying, I don't see Fred VanVleet on the court for 40 minutes, walking up the court with Nick Nurse on the bench, staring into the distance. This is now a totally different team. It's a totally different stat profile, as Lex said. Yeah, the team stats for our team are much better. In some ways, I like the profile of our team stats much better than last year. Even though last year was an interesting idea, it's very experimental, trying to go for quantity over quality. But in a lot of ways in your life, when you go for quality over quantity, your life is better. Let's just put it that way. In most situations, if you're trying to decide between quality or quantity, go with quality. Let's just put it that way. And Nick was quantity last year. It was all about quantity. Tom Duke saying, cool and weird watching Lowry versus Fred last night on other teams. Yeah, it is weird seeing that kind of stuff, for sure. Nameless is saying, this guy is a straight up weirdo. Trust me, I've known a lot in my day. It's a weird individual. That sad, miserable fuck. I don't even want to say his name again. Yeah, Country Con saying, Lex, Malachi Flynn put on display for the world to see why faithful Raptor freaks like David, Tom, and myself refused to join the ragtag Jeff Dowtin mob against our beloved Raptor Malachi Flynn. All right, Country Kong, you want to describe it like that. Once again, more over dramatization by the Flynn side of things this week. I get it. I mean, listen, you guys are faithful for Malachi. I was faithful for him too. It's just, once again, I want to make the Raptors the best team that they possibly can be. So if I see something coming up, I'm going to be a squeaky wheel and kind of raise the alarm a little bit about, hey, let's not let Jeff run through our fingers if we can. And, I stand by what I said. And you guys can judge me as a lesser Raptors fan because of it. Okay, fine. It's whatever. But you know how dedicated I am. Come on now. Come on now. But yeah, you call this a ragamatag Jeff Dowtin mob? Dude, I was in that Jeff Dowtin mob for like the last year. I was standing up for Jeff when Nick was not playing him. I was standing up for Jeff when he didn't get converted. In some ways, I was also saying, well, this is what they're planning to do. We need to be okay with it. In some ways, I'm not really that hard up or hard lining on either side when in these situations. It's just I'm putting the argument out there and we're talking it through. And that's all we did this week. And yes, I was in Camp Dowtin, but you know what? It is what it is. It's not like there's winners or losers in this. It's just what happened. It's just what happened. Shaq saying, I agree. Darko made the adjustments when Jakob got 2 fouls, sub Precious in, and we went on a roll. When the team settled down, he put back Jakob. Yeah, and he asked Jakob later. He said this in the interview afterwards. You want to get more minutes with the bench later in the game. That's why we saw Jakob in the fourth quarter playing with Freemon Liberty and all those guys, because he wanted to meet a quota with minutes to ramp up his being ready for the season. And he actually didn't make it, is what he said. I think they wanted him to be at 20 minutes by the end of the game, but he only got to 19. So, but Jakob being out there was good. It was good to see, interesting to see him with end of the bench guys out there. That was very interesting. Shots fired. Okay. Yikes. MSJ saying, yeah, I'm shooting shots fired towards a certain YouTube channel for sure. Always. MSJ saying, nameless, who? He is saying Dennis needs to go. 11 assists. How people can stand to even watch him is beyond me. I don't get it. Like, if you know anything about basketball, these must be new fans that don't know enough about basketball. And if you're learning basketball from Robert Pensair, oh my gosh, I feel bad for you. I feel really bad for you. Don't learn it from him. Trust me. So if you are an educated basketball fan and you listen to him, you'll realize just how full of shit he is. So yeah, it's crazy. Country Kong saying, Lex, last one, I promise. Now that Fred is gone and the ball is moving, I promise to defend every single Raptor on this team all year. I love these guys. Gradey, Booker. What? Malachi is closer to Kyle than Fred. You're calling Gradey Booker like he's Devin Booker? That's weird. You know what? Listen, I love that, Country Kong. You want to stand up for our guys. You want to ride or die with them. I'm all for that. I hope everybody will have that attitude with you. Seriously. I have no anger or upsetness about what happened with the roster decisions. It is what it is, and we just keep going. That's what it is. It's a business. Tough decisions have to be made. Sometimes we can't make everybody happy, and that's just how it is. Nameless is saying, this guy is so weird in so many different capacities. The stupid, untrue things he says, the inconsistencies in his arguments, the need to elevate himself above others, his patronizing ways, onward and onward. He's a malignant narcissist. He's a clinical case of it. You know, I don't have to be a psychologist to tell you that he's a malignant narcissist. That is the correct term. Malignant meaning a bad person, and then narcissist meaning he's really into himself. He's holding on so hard about the Scottie being the point guard thing for his own ego, that tells you all you need to know. Now, meanwhile, you can come and talk to me and correct me and tell me I'm wrong and stuff like that. And I have no problem with that. I don't care if I'm wrong or right half the time. This man obviously has a stake with his ego on whether he's right or wrong. And that should tell you right away, right there, he's compromised for believing or listening to. Because in some ways, he's going to think the world is the way it is, just like Trump does, because it fits his ego. And in some ways, I'm not like that. If I get facts that prove that I'm wrong, I will change and I'll admit I was wrong. Some people can't admit when they're wrong. And it's a really bad personality flaw. He's showing us the true him. And y'all, if y'all can't see it, that's fine. Go ahead, follow him. But if you can see it, open your eyes and realize the man's ego driven. And that's a real big problem. I'm passion driven. I could give a shit. I have this certain blend of talents that allow me to do this live stream every morning, like a really good memory. I have some crazy talented entertainment skills, and I really do know basketball. And in some ways, I'm the right blend of talent to do this. But in some ways, the passion is what drives me. It's not about being right. It's the passion to see the Raptors win is what I'm all about. It gets me up every morning, gets me on here at 9:30. That's right. That's right. MSJ saying Tiger Beat, laugh out loud. Scott Baio, laugh out loud. Joni loves Tachi. Yeah. Bobby loves Scottie. So true. That's right. He is. He's a little teeny bopper. He's like, oh, I love him. He looks so cute. Oh, that's what he is. He's a little teeny bopper, like he's a little preteen, something like that. Trevor J saying, Lex, you're the man. You had me laughing so hard. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad y'all enjoyed that Pantsera rant just now. Yeah, Joseph Stark saying, oh, say, my dear friend, the Cosmos came to me and told me you were bothered by a fellow named Bob. The lions do not concern themselves with the bleatings of sheep. Ooh, saw Raptor brother. All right, Joseph Starks coming in, our West Coast friend, coming in and saying something so awesome that I'm going to give him a dunk. And, you know, I agree with him. I would be so happy if I don't have to talk about this motherfucker, Robert, all season long. But unfortunately, I feel like I'm going to have to because it's just part of the Raptors world. And in some ways, I need to fight the good fight against him. But I agree with you. I shouldn't concern myself with him because you're right. I'm a lion, and that motherfucker is some sort of weird. I don't even know if he's a sheep. He may be like a chupacabra or something like that. I don't know what the fuck he is. Yeah. Let's see. CountryCon saying, oh, Lex, I'm telling you, Gradey doesn't need 905. I'm telling you, he's Grady Booker. That's why I say Booker. You call him Grady Booker. When he shoots, it goes straight through the net. Swish. We can't afford to send that to 905. We need those threes up here. Well, I'm saying split them in the right times. You know, in the beginning of the season, when 905 is not going on, play him here a lot. Then send him to 905 when they're doing their before their first part of the season. And then come back in between. And then go back out there for the second part of the 905 season. And then for the end of the season, he plays fully with the team. There's different ways of bouncing him back and forth that can be very fruitful for his development quickly in his rookie year. And I'm telling you, him getting extended minutes on the 905 is essential. And Darko's already said he's going to do that. So y'all acting like he's not going to need 905 or he's not going to be there. It doesn't matter. Darko's already said he's going to 905. And be ready for that. MSJ saying, why the crying emoji? I don't know what that is. That is the Robert emoji. The one with the little tear and the purple eyelid, that is our code for Robert Pantsera. So if you ever see that cry emoji, that's what that represents. Idiot. That's who it represents. Yeah. Oh, so Dick is on the 905 a bit? You're way ahead of me. Interesting. Means Otto will get run, I guess. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It does not necessarily mean that. You know, we got other three-point shooters. Scottie's emerging. Pascal's getting better. We got Jalen McDaniels all of a sudden. Gary's going to still be shooting threes. We got three-point shooting all over the place. Gradey is not absolutely essential for our three-point shooting, y'all. He's a project. He's a rookie. He's learning the ropes of the NBA game. and he needs to be utilized in the way that will help that in the long term. Not, burn him out too quick or do certain things like that. In some ways, we want to save him as a secret weapon. Think about it this way. In some ways, maybe we don't want to show him too much because he could be very fruitful for playoff situations. In some ways, that could be smart. You don't want to unveil him and overuse him all right away so everybody figures him out too quickly. That's what I'm saying. There's different ways and reasons why you are slow with developing guys, not just because of the speed that they are aptitude and they learn, but also the way you want to unveil them as a player for strategic reasons. That could be also part of it right there. Let's see. Fiercely saying Nick Nurse didn't use Jeff that last year. Why would he use him this year? Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. That's a good point, though, Fiercey. It's a very good point. DCL saying we develop them, then trade to better everyone. There you go. I like that. We develop, then trade to better everyone. I don't know. We better other teams. We don't trade, though. Have we been trading guys? No, we haven't. Everybody wants us to trade guys, but Masai and Bobby say no. That's why they hate him. That's why they hate Bobby and Masai. They never let us trade for OG. We tried to trade for OG for 4 years now, and they just won't trade him. Well, that's how it is. We're not a farm team for the rest of the league. No, we're not. We aren't doing that kind of shit for them. Trevor's saying the whole NBA league is going to be Raptors against Raptors. That's crazy and weird. CountryCon's saying this is Malachi's 4th year with us. I know he doesn't have a ring, but can we still value the time he spent with us and protect him like we protected Fred? I hated fighting off the mob all by myself. Well, listen, like you said, he's on the team. There's no debate about him not being on the team or not being on the team. So don't worry. I'll only be critical of him on a night-to-night basis, depending on his performance. And that's just how I do it. And then once again, it's constructive criticism. It's not meant to denigrate him or because I hate him. It's because we're talking about what he did on the game. And that's all. If he plays good like he did last night, I give him his kudos. He's the second star of the game after Scottie. So there you go. I give him kudos. I give him detriments, depending on how he does. Mo's saying, love the newest backdrop in the media room, empowering women. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, a couple of new slogans on the media backdrop for when they do their after-game interviews, saying something, supporting women and all kinds of stuff on there. It's normal kind of messaging, like Black Lives Still Matter and things like that around the Raptors organization. And this is the stuff that Ed Rogers hates. Yeah, just so you know. Nameless is saying Jakob had an interesting interview post-game. Basically said, expect a bigger learning curve and more losing during the regular season. Laugh out loud, basically. Yeah, he's being realistic. But in some ways, maybe he'll tell you the worst-case scenario to get you ready for it just in case. But that doesn't necessarily mean we won't have success and win still. He's just making it just in case. It could be that we learn the system and things are fine in the regular season. We'll have to see. Also, the upgrade in the opponents is going to be very quickly. Minnesota is not a bad team. Neither is Philadelphia, obviously. So we're going to have to play some very tough teams early in the season, just like last year, getting thrown in the fire at the regular season right away with a tough back-to-back with Philadelphia right in the third game of the season. So we'll have to see. Jakob is just helping us understand, yeah, it may work right now, but in the regular season, maybe still stuff to work out, kinks. But it doesn't mean we won't be successful. But he says, all right, we're going to have some losing too. That's just how it's going to happen in some ways. But I think we're going to win more than we lose, honestly. Isaac's saying Jeff would fit in better with the traditional half-court system, a system with more role definition with him as the true point guard. They want playmaking to be more of a team effort than rely on the point. You know what? Isaac just made a huge point that is exactly right and very astute. Actually, I'm really impressed with that. In some ways, he's exactly right. Part of the reason why Jeffrey doesn't totally fit Darko's system right now. I get it. Yeah. Nameless is laughing. Isaac saying, I really see value in a guy that gets others going. Yeah. Free Jeff. Yeah. Gets other players going. I agree with that. Monique is saying, hang on. No. All right. Thanks for the cutoff. She's saying they had too much fun last night. They didn't even drop the premiere of Open Gym. Laugh out loud, but I'll wait. Yeah, they didn't. I was like, well, I want to get home and watch Open Gym, but it wasn't on. I was like, you're right. That's crazy. They previewed it, but they didn't even drop it last night. I'll bet they'll drop it today. Duke Rocks is here. Good to see Jason, our Raptor Freak Yahoo Fantasy champion from last year. Dang, I was hoping we kept the Gee guy. Do we know if he's playing for the 905? Sad about Dowtin as well. Yes, Mo Gee is going to be on 905. So will Maker and Justice Winslow, Daryl Morcell, and David O'Banner. Everybody we did exhibit 10s with and waived, they go automatically to the 905. And we get them on our 905 roster. So Mohamedou Gee is on the 905, Jason. So no worries about that. Season 12 of Open Gym, baby. Let's go. Race Mode Daily saying Instagram check. Dennis Schröder shopping in Yorkdale. What? You got something new? Is this just came up? All right, I'm going to check this out. See what Dennis doing in Yorkdale Mall. I could see him being in Yorkdale. You know, Ellen likes the finer things in life. So I could see them being in Yorkville, honestly. She need to be going down there to those really high-end stores right around Bloor Street and just west of Young. Yeah, that's where she needs to be going. But if she's at Yorkdale, that's fine too. All right, let's see what Race Mode's saying. Is he actually there? I don't see it on his story. No, I don't see it, Edmund. Sorry. I must be looking the wrong place, though. Let's see. Name is saying, should we chat cut this guy? Yeah, please. Please do that. Duke saying, Lex, question, are there any limits to how many times we play a player in a fantasy pool? Okay, Yahoo Fantasy question is good because our season's starting on Tuesday. Get your rosters ready. This is the thing. The only thing in our head-to-head league is you get 5 maximum transactions a week. So, Jason, you can cycle guys from the waiver wire onto your team for, up to 5 a week. You can't do more than 5 a week. That's your limit. But you can play as many players as you want. You can on your rosters during that week. So there are no limits to how many times you play a player as long as they're playing that day and you have a roster spot to fit them into. So there you go, Jason. If you have any further questions, just text me. I'll give you those answers. Name is saying, now I see why they picked up Temple. 100%. You're exactly right. It was amazing when I saw him talking to them because he was right at half court. They were ready to leave. And he was like, no, you stay here and talk to me for a second, Josh. And he did. He laid it out for them. He's like kind of like asking and explaining. You know, there was a lot of that going on in the game too. Dennis had some heated conversations with the referees last night, but it was really for clarification. A lot of times with the refs, if the vets are talking to them, it's about, well, how do you want me to do it? And I'll try and listen to you and show that I'm trying to listen to you. And then maybe we get better calls. So there's a lot of finessing and politicking with the refs. And if our coach is a rookie and he may not have as much clout with them, well, having vets on our team that can get a respect from the refs is good. Let's just put it that way. So Garret Temple, in some ways, is good for our refereeing for us. Duke saying, Samson Folk post-game interview said Scottie is fine, according to Darko. Also, he saw him high-fiving players after the game and seemed okay. Yeah, he's fine. In some ways, I'm wondering why he left so quickly. Did he have something he had to do? Was there something you had to watch, Scottie? He's like, oh, what time is it? I got to fake an injury so I can go in the back and watch something. And some ways, that's how it felt to me or something like that. Fun guy saying, laugh out loud. One game and everybody thinks Malachi is Harry Potter. Relax, guys. He's still going to cost us many games and will be basically unplayable. Just hoping he can be like yesterday, some games to win. See, fun guy's the counterbalance here. And in some ways, I think he's being overly negative. I think he is. Neil's here. Good to see Blackhawk. We can play big and we can play small. Jakob and Precious are fine. You know, Precious can play the 5, but he's so interchangeable. He really does. Like we did a full-on 6'9" vision game team last night. We had what? Pascal, OG, Scottie, Precious, and Jalen McDaniels out there. That was a weird 5. Seriously. Because who's the center? Who's the point guard? It doesn't matter. It truly was the real true vision of Vision 6'9", and it's with McDaniels out there with those 4 guys, Precious, Scottie, OG, Pascal, and Jalen McDaniels. That was a nasty 6'9" vision game team last night. And Precious' interchangeability, Scottie's interchangeability is what allows it, right there. It's awesome. Let's see. Raps Love saying Malachi hasn't cost us any games yet, has he? He just hasn't played up to par. Yeah. I listen, he's just going by his history, is what Fun Guy's saying that about. He's saying Malachi has most certainly cost us many games. So many games I've sat there and watched Malachi make crucial mistakes like bad fouls in critical times. And there goes the game. Many, many times last year. I don't know if that's totally accurate, Fun Guy. I can say he's made boneheaded plays and it's hurt us. But I don't know if you can necessarily just pin one finger on Malachi and say it's his fault we lost this game. You can't do that. Rapslow saying 100%. 2 years ago, we were fighting over if Scottie should come off the bench. You came back to me 2 months later and said, sorry, you were right. See, this is true. Like when I first started this channel, I envisioned Scottie. I didn't know he was going to be what he's going to be. I thought he'd be really good off the bench, and I was really advocating for him to be off the bench. But then I didn't realize Nick was trying to get him Rookie of the Year, and he did, and I was so wrong. And Raps Loves remembers me eating crow and saying I'm fine with him coming off the bench. A lot of people were like, "You're crazy, Lex. What do you mean this young man's going to come off the bench? You're crazy." And y'all were right, and I was crazy. And see, there you go. Raps Loves giving a good example. I totally did advocate for Scottie to come off the bench in his rookie year when we first started that season. My opinion of that changed very quickly, though. But right at the beginning of the season, it was like that. Hey, Adriana, how you doing? You want to come say hi? All right, she's gonna come in and say hi since I'm 2.5 in. I'll go 3 hours, but not anymore. So come here for a sec. Just say hi to everybody. She took me to the game last night. I was so happy to have a great Adriana looking out for me, wanting to take me to a Raptors preseason game. Such a sweetheart. She knows the way to my heart. That's right. It was all her. She surprised me on those tickets. I wasn't going to go to Washington Wizards preseason game, and she got me the ticket. It's like, all right, I'll go. Yeah, Blackhawks saying basketball is about team connectivity and playing for each other. We're going to do something special this season. I believe that too. I think that if you think about our team being like exactly mid 41-41 last year and the way it was without connectivity, the sky's the limit. Like if you actually play like a real team, you actually have better defense, you actually have a better offense, we should win way more this year. And I think that people like Isaiah Thomas, Reggie Miller, and the scouts that are watching our team are understanding this, but the general NBA people are not getting this. They're not getting this at all. And it'll be too late. It'll be too late. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Rapslow saying, costing us games like it's his fault. You lost. Are you serious? Yeah, you can't pinpoint one person like that, fun guy. I'm sorry. I'm with Rapslow on this. You can't just pin one point and say this guy lost it unless it's very, very like a free throw at the end of the game and that totally loses the game. Sure, you could say that. But most of the time, you cannot just pinpoint one individual and say that's the reason why we lost this game. Stargate saying, funny how all the people who are now such big advocates for Malachi were the same individuals shitting on Fred last season and now want to call people haters. Shaking my head. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're all good Raptors fans, whether we're Camp Dowtin this week, Camp Flynn, whatever. We move on and we stay positive, and there's no reason to pull us apart and say, oh, you were this and this earlier this week. Who cares? We're all Raptors fans. We're going forward, and let's just go watch some wins. How about that? Yeah. Fun guy is saying, you must really love Costa Kufas, because they keep saying Costa. I think it's a spell check. They might write Costa. Maybe there's a friend in their life named Costa, and they just happen to come up on the screen whenever they type it in. Oh, damn it. It's making write my friend's name in. Let's see. Wrestler saying Malachi has many faults. He had a great game. Laugh out loud. Voice message. Sorry. I love this chat. It's so funny. Blackhawk saying, Lex, we ain't worried about that who shall not be named, as he shall not be named, declared he has a medical condition that makes him a certified asshole. All right, Blackhawk, you're getting a dunk for that one. That's hilarious, Neil. I love that. Yeah, okay. He probably has a card for it, too. And if there's any trouble in public, you just throw it and show it. Oh, okay, now we get why you're the way you are. Okay, yeah, that's hilarious. Let's see. Joseph Starks saying, laughing at Bob equals El Chupacabra. I'm dying, Lex. Yeah, he's not even like that. He's like a nasty, gnarly, mythical creature that hides in the dark from everyone. And if he comes out in the light, you see his porn search history. That's right. Fun guy saying, Scottie had more of a walk it off injury. Hope he's good to go on Wednesday. It's a lot of time. He should be fine. He's a young man. He bounces back so quickly. He could be ready for Sunday. I'll bet you from this injury. He could be ready for Sunday, let alone for Wednesday. I'll bet you. Blackhawk saying any team can steal Dowtin as he is not on a two-way in Philly. That's right. We could sign him back. Like if we get in trouble, we could steal him from Nick still. So there's the possibility to get him back. I like that. Blackhawk's got the funny monocle face. I'm a fun guy saying, look, I love Dowtin, especially after Summer League last year, but he's been highly overrated and had his sequences with the big club. He didn't blow me away, but he was solid. Relax, people. We can let him go. That's a fair point. Nothing wrong with what he said. Joseph Stark saying one major thing that hasn't been said is that Flynn has draft capital over Dowtin, who was undrafted. I believe this to be the camel that broke the straw. Yeah, and guaranteed contract versus a non-guaranteed contract. That's a big part of it too. But the path to get to the guaranteed contract is because you were drafted. So this is a good point by Joseph. It's exactly right. He's a draft pick by us, like OG, like Pascal, like Scottie. These guys that get drafted by the Raptors, they're valued, and they're even come back like Jakob Poeltl. So, this is a big part of it. Our draft picks are valued by our GM because he made them. And he's like, it's not that he doesn't want to admit he made a mistake. It's that he doesn't make mistakes. And I don't think Malachi is either. Adonde Lawrence, hi, good to see you. Every morning we're talking Raptors, 9:30 a.m. And tomorrow we're going to do our Eastern Conference rankings. My rankings for the Eastern Conference tomorrow morning, 9:30. Country Kong saying, hey, what's wrong with Grady Booker? I don't know. It's just weird. Excusez-moi from being enthusiastic. Also, to me, it seems like a lot of us like to scream Malachi's failures and whisper his success, but it is what it is. Go Raps. Well, in some ways, that's true. It is true. But in some ways, his success is kind of ordinary in some ways. Like even his stats from yesterday are great and they're acceptable, but they're not like, in some ways, they're not like Grady's. Grady's stats in some ways are impressive for where he's at. Malachi's kind of doing what I would have loved him to do as a rookie now. I get what you're saying. In some ways, we shouldn't be minimizing his successes and really pointing out his failures. But it's part of what we do here. Nameless is saying, hang on. Yes, let's go Yardy. I like that. Adonde saying, hopefully Barnes will be able to go when the season starts. Hey, Nameless, how are you? Yeah, he'll be fine. Trust me. I'm not worried about Scott in the least. I'm not. Nameless, bam. And Tristan's high. And hey, Adriana. See, Adriana was here. On Adonde, a real one. Hey, listen, I love more real ones finding our channel. I hope you'll be a regular here, Adonde Lawrence. And, whenever you come here, your comments will be read. That's what we do here. That's right. We win at 50 plus, boys. I like that, Tristan. I can get behind that. Race Mode's got it. And Monique saying, W stream, Lex, keep at it as always. Good times, go Raptors. That's an understatement, Monique. Good times are coming. That's right. And you're welcome, Adonde. And Country Kong saying, Malachi is the one who finds Gradey open for threes. He gets the rebound, pushes it, and finds the rookie spotting up in the corner. Yeah, he's been setting up Gradey pretty good. We know Malachi's got some good chemistry with different Raptors already. Chris Boucher in particular. He's got a natural chemistry with Jalen McDaniels from knowing him for many, many years. So in a lot of ways, Malachi's a better fit with our personnel because at time accrued with them, like Chris and Malachi in Tampa season were really like carrying our team at times. And then, Jalen McDaniels is really a close friend of Malachi's. And they really do have a connection on the court already. You can tell. When you see them on the court, they come out together, obviously, off the bench. Usually they're coming in, subbing in together. And then when you see them on the court, there's more of a second nature and a natural chemistry with them accrued from being childhood friends. So, there's another thing that was on Malachi's side is McDaniel showing up all of a sudden is a vote of confidence in him. And that we're investing in Malachi type things. All right, y'all. Great game last night. A 36-point win by the Raptors over the Wizards. It was fantastic fun. We were undefeated in our preseason for the first time in franchise history, 4-0, beating the Wizards, making them 3-1. That was awesome. My 5 stars for the game last night are Scottie Barnes, Malachi Flynn, Grady Dick, O.G.Annunoby, and Javon Freemon Liberty. Yes. Jakob had this to say about our win last night. Solid performance in our last preseason game against the Washington Wizards. Good defense and ball movement. Great to finally be back from illness. We were very happy to see him. And I wrote this to Jakob in the comments. I said, I was at the game in the 300 level. Great team win and perfect preseason record. It seems the refs are being mean to you and Dennis Schröder tonight. Josh Tiven and Matt Boland, very biased calls in the first half. Good luck in the season to you, Jakob. Hoping the Raptors win a lot this year. That's right. That's what I was saying to him. And yeah, once again, sad about the waiving of Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. It is what it is. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want to join the channel, membership does have its privileges. So you can find out what they are. Peace to you, Tristan Phipps. And dap. And you know what I'm going to say right now. Say it yourself with me at your house at the same time as me. That's right, Raptor Freak family. Let's go Raptors! Yeah.